Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Laura Schifrin, and I will call the meeting to order of the Select Board on this January 20th, 2026 at 3 p.m. Roll call, please.
Veronica Kell, present.
Valerie Goodrich, present.
And Laura Schifrin, present. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank our veterans, as well as all of our military currently serving here and abroad, all of our first responders, and all of our elected and appointed officials, as well as our staff.
I got it online, thank you.
And their families. Thank you all for making this community a better place. And I will save it in, oh God, I guess I'll save it for the end because I don't think it's here. This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. Is anyone else recording?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Cindy. I don't have, okay, let me see, 5.10 under additions and deletions. 5.10, is this a duplicate?
It is. It's the policy for the public relations. Should not twice.
Okay, so 5.10 is being deleted due to being a duplicate. 1.5. Review approved minutes for January 6, 2026. Is there a motion?
I, Valerie Goodrich, move to approve the mini minutes of January 6, 2026.
Veronica Kell, second.
Okay, any discussion?
I sent Sabrina a bunch of changes. There was like,
I haven't even
initials?
looked at them.
Laura
Yeah, I
said to say a bunch of things that you did. So she went back.
Saying our name doesn't really matter.
No, I don't think it really does. Because it said a bunch of stuff that Veronica said you had said.
Well, AI can't be trusted 100%. We still have to use our brains.
Yeah, and then it also, there was, I mean, mind you, it was at the very end. It didn't go back to open session when we were approving, when we were making motions for the union stuff. Because, I mean, it's or something else. So. So we went into executive session and needed to come back out twice. So, but that's.
But that was corrected?
Let me just make sure the last one is.
While you're looking at that, I'm going to ask Sophie.
Boy, this is the long version.
It still doesn't have the second.
Why don't we push them to the next meeting then?
Yeah, let's
Might
do
be
that.
cleaner.
That's fine.
Okay, so
And I can work with Sabrina on that.
I move that we abandon our motion.
We need to take a recess for a second.
Yeah.
Some of our members have left the building. We'll take a recess for just a minute, I guess.
I'll ask the question later.
We're back.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh.
My bad, my fault. My whatever. What's the X there?
Oh, this is always pops up. This meeting is being recorded. Good to go. I think everyone can hear us.
All right.
Okay, so, did we vote the minutes?
No,
Put them
we're
off until
going,
next meeting.
we're going to move them to the
They need
next
a
meeting.
couple more changes.
Oh, thank you. All right, move to the next meeting. Nothing under 2, under 3, appointments of officials and personnel. 3.1, appointment of Cindy King. Is there a motion?
I, Valerie Goodrich, move to appoint Cindy King to the Agricultural Commission effective January 20th, 2026 until June 30th, 2029.
Is there a second?
Veronica Kell second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Veronica Kell, no.
Valerie Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you, Cindy, for volunteering. 3.2, appoint select board member to audit committee effective January 20th, 2026 until December 31st, 2026. Is there a motion?
I suppose we need to discuss first so we can figure out who it is.
I want it to be you.
Well, the audit committee at this point is really just to get the results of the audit and organize the presentation to the boards by policy. I mean, you can look at the policy and see.
So they're really only meeting in late spring, early summer?
Pardon me?
Really only meeting then in late spring, early summer? Because our audit is usually in
The audit will take place usually, late
July.
spring, early summer, June typically. It's
I think
usually,
ours was July last year.
it might have been if it was. No,
Yeah,
it was
the
June
audit-
24th.
Yeah, he's here now. He came this week,
Oh.
so he's begun work audit, and it takes
Is
a little
that
while.
who's downstairs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew there was
so
a stranger down there.
that's George from Rosselli and the law, the
Clark.
CPA,
Yeah.
Rosselli and Clark. So he's
Okay.
working away. He collaborated with town accountant and the treasurer collector and those folks, and he's going to begin the job. And then I assume prepare a report for us to have the committee review and go from there. So,
That's where the committee comes in at this point. We renewed the contract last year.
Yep.
mhm.
I remember that.
And so there isn't, the main purpose of the audit committee is to
Review that material.
review that, do the RFP or whatever the words are, to get an auditor in place, see if we should change the auditor that we have.
Then make
Rosselli and Clark, I
recommendations.
think this is their second 3-year contract.
Correct.
And the audit committee only came into play. The first time it was even used was 2021, I believe, for this the first round of the Rosselli Clark. We had an auditor, same auditor for maybe 12 years prior to that, and the same prior to that. And so the audit committee was put into place by the board before I came onto the board. That was where that policy was put in place. There wasn't a policy prior. And really, it's just to
Double check.
double check, get stuff from, you don't really do the audits.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
what
I
you're
know,
doing.
yeah.
So, and then to make sure that it's brought forward to the boards that are, so that's the role right now. And quite frankly, I come off the board in April.
Right.
And I have no intentions of rerunning at this point. I don't even know when you can pull papers. Usually it's
Yeah.
around this time.
Right.
And we
I
haven't
wondered about
set that yet. So the town hasn't set that yet. So in any event, putting me on the audit committee at this point doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion. And it usually comes back into play next fall.
Right.
So if you want someone on that committee, I think it should be one of you two.
Sure. Want to do it? Fine. Okay, I'll take a motion. Well,
All right, I move to appoint Valerie Goodrich as a select board member on the audit committee.
is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, any further discussion?
I just want to say that the makeup of the committee is one member of the finance committee, one member of the select board, and a member from the community that has a financial background. So
Like the library?
the first time I did this, it was Dave Chanel. He was our community member.
Mhm.
The last year, we didn't have a community member come forward at all. So it was just me and Dawn. From
okay, right,
finance.
I
That was
remember
it. And, that, I just want to say that that's the makeup of the committee.
Do we have anybody yet on it?
We do not, not
Because,
to my knowledge.
so
no.
finance would appoint.
I thought finance did appoint someone, I can't remember who.
I can do it.
Okay. Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote?
Veronica Kell, yes.
I'm not gonna vote now. You get to
Laura
vote.
Schifrin, yes. Congratulations,
Oh,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's currently Dawn and now Valerie, so.
Okay, fine.
I'll see if I can find someone from outside too, maybe. Try.
Well, what does it mean, community member with a financial interest? I thought it meant.
Financial background.
Oh, financial background.
Someone who's a banker, a CFO, accountant,
Okay,
payroll clerk,
See what I
All
can find.
jack of all trades.
um,
3.3.
right, capital planning, is there a motion?
We would just need someone's name from whom the select board would like to have represent the capital planning committee.
Again, I don't think it should be me. Really.
No.
But it could be. It's just that the end date you have there is 6/30/2026.
Then we could just put it through the end of the election if you wanted to. Change the date.
Have they met yet?
I mean, they haven't met yet.
No, and
So we need that before, for the budget, right?
capital
Technically,
planning has to meet and, it's tardy at this point. I mean, we've always started meeting.
yeah, I've spoken with Mr. Barrett, and he was going to, if my memory serves me correctly, touch base with the town clerk on getting a meeting organized. And I said, I'll work on getting you a full roster, because he, as the moderator, gets to appoint a couple of members as well. Yeah, so we're just waiting on a few next steps there. A few folks from, finance and as well as other boards have reached out to be a participant. So really just select board having a representative.
Finance, planning, and, select board, I thought. And then 4 at large, is that
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, I think it's 4 at large, 2, there are 2 already from the at large group, and there needs to be 2 more.
It was just a volunteer response form.
Yeah, Natalie
Yes.
was on it last year, Natalie called.
Mhm.
So it
It was just a
was
response form.
me,
Today.
No, I think it was the person that we're appointing for something else also mentioned that.
Okay.
I think Mark, Hussey was an at-large last year. Mark and Natalie were at-large. I was select board. Carol was, planning board, and Geraldine was finance. That was our makeup last year. But I have no idea what it is now.
Yeah, there's the last appointment. I'm gonna butcher names today, I'm sorry. Robert Sola. He
Oh,
put,
yeah.
he also put capital planning committee, so we should give that to the moderator probably.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said community preservation and capital planning.
Yeah, he's,
So then it would just
Good.
be one.
okay. I will, accept an adjusted motion to, from
Right.
select board
So,
to capital planning.
so then, let me just get the date of the town election. Real quick. It's April.
Jack, what's the date of the election?
I think it's 27.
Monday, the 27th?
It's Monday.
Yeah,
So
last Monday, correct?
So this means me, huh?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah, and for, not to be diminishing of the group's effort, there's not a lot of money there, so
Yeah,
it won't be, I don't think it'll be terribly cumbersome or laborious, so.
you won't have much to work with,
So,
Yeah, I'd rather be
fortunately.
point blank about it from start, so.
so I would move to appoint Veronica Kell, to the capital planning committee effective January 20th, 2026 until through the April 28th, 2026.
Is there a second?
I would say the 7th,
7th?
the 27th, the end of the day.
Oh, okay. Until April 27th, 2028,
2026.
2026. I'm looking at
Just
28.
Keeping her on our toes.
I'm surprised I can do that right now,
Well,
let me tell
well
you.
played. Pretty good. We just
Okay.
need a second from the audience.
Any further discussion on the motion to
You
appoint
second, right?
Veronica to
Veronica,
capital
second.
planning?
I'll second myself. Why not?
Okay, and is there any further discussion? This ends on April 27th, 2026, this appointment. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Chai?
Veronica Calla, followed Valerie's lead non-vote.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you both. 3.4, appoint Robert Jusela to the Community Preservation Committee. Is there a motion?
Can we discuss before we make the motion?
Sure.
I would like to move this to the next meeting. The reason being, we only have 2 at-large, and he's coming in as at-large, and we've already appointed both 2 at-large, Kim Greeno, and last meeting, Colby Streeter. However, Colby Streeter is a town employee, and town employees cannot be on the committee. And so we appointed erroneously. And so I think we have to back that appointment out, and I'm not sure what's involved with doing that.
Okay.
And then we could appoint a different person as at-large. So that's why I don't think we should make a motion at this point. I think we need to do a little bit of investigation on that.
February 3rd is fine with me, and there's no emergency on this, getting this done like erroneously for sure.
Correct.
Okay, we have time to make the correction.
Great. We'll table that to 2-3.
And thank them both for their volunteer efforts.
Yeah, I think it's written in here. If you read the yellow print.
Yeah, I do. I saw it after. Okay, before we go to 4.1, I would like to do something that I wanted to do last meeting, and that was to properly introduce our new intern TA. And I felt really bad, just me, that I didn't get to do it then, but it was kind of hairy with having that joint meeting at the same time with Board of Health. So,
Board of Water. Never mind.
I'm going to read this, please.
Please do.
Karen, oh, I better put my glasses on. Karen is a strategic and solutions-driven municipal and operations professional with experience in public service, education, administration, and real estate. He has served as Dunstable Select Board member, including roles as member, vice chair, and chair, where he advanced funding opportunities, supported affordable housing initiatives, and developed the What's Going On in Dunstable newsletter to strengthen communication and community engagement. Prior to Select Board service, he contributed to local governance as a member of the Dunstable Capital Planning Committee, Conservation Commission, Affordable Housing Trust, Community Preservation Act, and Advisory Board, and FinCom. Now, I'm sure you are beginning to hear why all 3 of us were unanimous in having him come on board, and basically because of what we've gone through in this last year, and maybe even before. but it's just, we couldn't have asked for anybody
Thank you.
better. His professional experience includes nearly a decade of Harvard Business School as housing manager, where he oversaw residential operations for more than 550 bedrooms, managing allocation systems, resident life programs, and staff support. And to think I've only done around 30. Maybe more bedrooms,
It's a
but
race to
30
the finish.
units. Following HBS, Kieran served as a database administrator in the Groton School Admissions Office, streamlining slate workflows, data processes, and application management. In addition to his municipal and operational work, he is a licensed realtor with Barrett Sotheby's Martin team, serving clients in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I did not know that before, but I did as soon as he signed his first contract and initialed every page. I knew.
It's a stake. You gotta do it.
I know.
Gotta know what you're signing.
Kieran holds a graduate certificate in strategic management from Harvard University Extension School and a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from St. Michael's College. Outside of work, he enjoys soccer, beekeeping, I knew it wasn't bookkeeping, skiing, walking his dog, and participating in alumni and community organizations. Karen, we're so thrilled to have you, honestly. It's been a pleasure working with you so far, and just understanding what your background is just amazing to me. And
Thank
welcome. And we're very fortunate to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad we all survived my first meeting, so off to the races. Too many more.
We did. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but yes, we did.
I ate a lot of candy during that meeting.
Yeah, I know.
We all did.
I know. Again, welcome. So, leading into 4.1,
Sure.
approval of agreement with consulting mentor town administrator for interim town administrator, Jason Silva. Is there a motion?
I value the motion to approve the agreement with consulting mentor town administrator Jaden Silva for the interim town administrator effective January 20th. And sign out of session with signature stamp.
Veronica Cal second.
This has already been reviewed by council.
Yes, this was written by council.
Okay, even better. All right.
With, back and forth. So
And this is a consulting agreement, not an employee.
this is a
agreement.
consulting agreement, that is correct.
Okay.
I will say on the record that as a finishing select board member in Dunstable, I will complete the ethics disclosure that's necessary for that purposes. So I know it's on the record. People always love that stuff, but I will do that tonight or tomorrow for both Dunstable and Townsend.
Yep.
Just to make sure we keep things organized for each.
And I'm not going to speak on Jason's behalf, but I know in conversations with him that he also has talked ethics and will file with Dunstable and Townsend also.
Okay.
Those are the right things to do.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Absolutely.
thank
There's,
you.
And
this is,
from what I understand, there wasn't a concern. So
So what we need in the contract is the name,
Mhm.
because when we did this, we didn't know
this is still a
exactly
draft.
who we were gonna go with, and the dates. And,
Yeah, you can input those. So,
can we just handwrite that to me? Or, well, I think we might need to.
Well, this is gonna be signed out of session, so those adjustments will have to be made.
yeah,
that keeps it current that way.
inserting
Yes.
appropriate information.
Okay, so changing the motion to, sign out.
Out of session, inserting appropriate details on employee and dates.
Correct.
As needed.
I think that's it. I think everything else is,
Okay, roll call vote,
Veronica Cal, aye.
Valerie Gurich,
and Laura Schifrin, aye. Thank you all very much.
Look forward to working with them.
Okay, 4.2, review, discuss, approve the weekly select board meetings. We have kind of, tossed around a little bit the length of our meetings. And, I don't think it's easy on anybody, those who attend as well as those who view. Now, going back a few years, and I don't know when it changed, honestly, but select board met weekly. And I'm thinking that might be a better process, only for keeping on top of things and not having people wait as long to get decisions on certain matters.
I will just say that it's not the number of times we meet per week, it's the length of the meetings. And I'm hopeful that there will be a correction in that. I do not want to attend meetings that go from 5 to 7 hours on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So that, I think
Well, the
that
hope
if
is-
we are doing this, we should be setting, if a meeting takes longer than 3 hours, everything else gets dropped and goes to the next meeting.
Yeah, right.
So I would want to limit to the amount of time for the meeting.
Mhm.
I also want to know what the times of the meetings are. Like meeting at 3 p.m. is nice, but it kills your day if you're doing day things. A 7-hour meeting at night kills your night. So I just think we have to think about this. And I'm hopeful that the amount of time needed to be spent on topics reduces.
You may find, if I can interject, and maybe I should have put this in my own little summary, is I'm fairly efficient, and if you guys allow me to help you interject a bit more, maybe I can help
I think you're very efficient.
clean this up a wee bit. I respect the topics and things like that, but I think we might debate a little too much to some degree, and we can really just hone in on the issue, focus on it, finish it, close it, move on. And if you are okay with me doing that, and again, you can always tell me to be quiet or get out of the room, whatever, you may find that if you want me to, I will speak up. Perhaps that hasn't been the tactics of other TAs in the past, but I know your time is valuable, our community members' time is valuable,
Employee time is valuable.
employee time is valuable. Let's,
Here's the
take the
thing.
agenda and go.
Here's the thing too, if we're meeting on a Tuesday and we have a meeting the following Tuesday, I really want all stuff for the meeting in by Friday. I mean, I'm as guilty as everybody else now because we let that slide. So that the materials that we're gonna be discussed aren't there oftentimes until the day of the meeting. And the policies say, agenda goes up on Thursday, everything's populated by Friday. If we're not gonna do that, I don't know that meeting weekly is really
It'll
useful.
change the muster point, so.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't give time
For us to
For
prepare
us.
either.
to prepare or to talk to the TA.
Mhm.
I
Or
mean,
council,
I
on
think,
occasion.
I
There'll be an
think
agenda item that you
council
need to.
is only involved when needed.
No, but
And
I'm
I
saying
think that
occasionally
right
if you,
now, council's been running the town.
no, yeah, but if you're reading through an agenda for
Sorry.
the first time and there's something that sticks out and you know what I mean? If you're reading through the agenda for the first time, you never know if there's gonna be something that you have to TA, and whoever you have to talk to.
Why don't we,
I would,
So I understand the February meetings. There's a Saturday meeting in March for the, budget.
mhm.
Is that included in here? I thought it was the 7th. I don't know why that date sticks in my head, but it does.
if I can speak to the weekly.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody else does.
Everybody can speak to the weekly.
I would prefer to do weekly if it was 3 hours than do 6 to 7 hour meetings.
I would too,
But,
but I would like to do bi-monthly.
but so.
And I wanna
my-
get stuff done.
My one, caveat on that is that obviously in February, we're gonna have to do FinCom joint meetings starting at 6. We can't do those earlier, because I think there's some FinCom members who work during the day. So 6 is when FinCom meets. And then, last week, Kieran and I attended the FinCom meeting, and I think it was nice that Kieran was there. And that starts at 6 often, so if we're doing weekly meetings, and Kieran
Are they
sometime
on
would like,
Tuesdays?
on Tuesdays, they're on Tuesdays. So, because they were alternating with us, we're first and third, they were second and fourth. So it's just something to take into consideration. I mean, we can do it earlier on those weeks, if that's helpful, or just have them for any questions necessary.
Well, looking at this, we need a 3/7 meeting added. And because we're in budget season, I'm good with that, but I'm not so sure 3/10, 3/17, 3/24, and 3/31 is gonna gain us anything. So I would take out probably two of those, because we have to add one in, the 3/07.
I just put it in there, so.
I don't know, that's,
I mean, in theory, there's gonna be a decent amount of budget work to be done, probably. I would guess.
we can try it. I just think it's gonna be a challenge to get the agendas and the information needed for the agendas. I think that's all you're gonna be doing. That's all you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, that was one comment from my predecessor that, he's like, I'd spend 15 hours in a week on an agenda. I was like, holy moly. So, rather than
doing the work that needs to be done, to
Yeah.
have the information that's needed for the select board to make a decision on an item.
But, shouldn't those agendas be fairly short?
well, you could do one that's new business each week, and then the next week is old business, and go off and on from that perspective. I'm going
That's
to
an
the
idea.
I'm going to the MMA conference
Friday?
on Friday. I can chat with some other town administrators. I'm now part of the small town administrators municipal group. I'll ask them how they handle sort of lengthy meetings, any ideas, and why don't
There's
I email
actually-
you guys and report back.
Because we're talking about select board meetings, I'll bring this up too. I actually reached out to MMA directly, and their board of directors has been in contact. And I got some feedback from some of them, and I'm going to be talking to them on Saturday too and they're going to be actually putting forward a training.
Are you
on-
going to the MMA conference?
They're
too?
actually going to be
Oh.
putting together training this year for select board agenda development and the role of the town administrator in that development.
Can't wait for that session.
So they were very helpful, and they had actually a lot of ideas on,
Mhm.
in towns handle it very differently.
Are you going on Friday? I am too. Yep.
I'm not.
So yeah, why don't we come back with some more ideas for 2-3? Enjoy your next week off.
Are we
It
going
may
to
not be the same after
Are we
that.
going to take next week off?
I think I would until we fully bake out the ideas and I check with some other resources and.
So 2-3 will be joint, I think, huh? At 6 probably.
Yeah,
So if
we
we
may,
have to do anything before that.
Have they agreed to that?
I
thought so, yeah,
First
based
two
on-
meetings.
yeah, and I sent them a rough budget this afternoon in a spreadsheet form, but I won't go into that now, but they should be looped in and I think it went positively. So hopefully they're on board.
Okay, so looking at the meetings that we have. All right, we
So
have
the
2,
one on
3.
Just the one on the 3rd then, if you're saying that's gonna be joint at 6 with finance, or it could be 6:15, right, whatever. They start wherever they start, and then if they wanna join us, why don't we start that one at 5?
Yeah.
Okay, and we can get hopefully the work out of the way before. Okay, so the 3rd is gonna be at 5 p.m.
Wonderful.
FinCom at 6. We should be able to get a good amount of work done.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
and then on the 3rd, we're gonna discuss future agenda, future dates.
Yeah, and I will have emailed each one of our group in advance for some ideas and maybe things we've learned in the next few days
Okay,
to share and sort of really hone in on either A, weekly meetings, or B, it's not a good idea. We just really constrain our topics each week.
And so 2-10 would also be joint with finance, correct?
Mhm.
Because the first 2 meetings in February is the policy, the budget policy. So then,
why don't we start that one at 5 as well?
Yeah, because that's our weekly meeting is the 3rd. Our bi-weekly meeting is the 3rd. Their off-week meeting is 2:10, so that,
Fine, but it gives us an hour to get some cleanups and stuff
absolutely.
before we meet with FinCom.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but generally, department heads take slots during those 2 meetings, correct?
With FinCom.
The thing,
Usually that's the way it's worked.
so
Yeah.
we schedule them in.
If
We don't have to do
need
it twice.
For me too,
You know?
Good to move on?
Okay, I am. 4.3, winter storm budget discussion for current season. Does not look good.
Yeah, just, sort of first and foremost, thank our folks who are, the work crews that are moving snow, whether it be highway, parks and cemetery facilities. It's not been a light lift so far this year. And you're seeing that in a lot of other communities in the area. In general, highway foreman, superintendent, Jim Smith reached out, and I think that those items are in your materials to sort of share where we're at. And he's basically asking for a coverage on the OT right now.
Go ahead.
I would say this is it. I won't say it's a no-brainer, but it's someone's done some work. We probably cover the cost.
You understand that it is a bargained item in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering why this is coming from the highway superintendent as opposed to the union. I had this question last year. It was a question of self-dealing. And no one ever went to the union to come back to talk to us. It's a bargained item. I think the amount is $5,000 in overtime. That would be over, well, in any event.
He hasn't been able to hire any of the drivers for snow.
Well, they lost a staff member in the negotiations this year. We didn't fill that position.
We didn't. That's true.
Yeah, so that.
So I'm more amenable, but this is a bargaining chip with the union.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I vote positively, I think there needs to be a meeting that involves not just us, but the union. How can we make this decision? We aren't asking for this. The union is asking for this, but it's not really the union. It's an employee. I would feel differently if this wasn't a bargained item, but it is. And it does make a difference in overages. So if you look at these other things, where are we? Where do we stand? I've gone through a lot of minutes, old minutes recently, and every time the select board would authorize the overages in the snow and ice budget up until around 2016. That's when things changed, and that didn't happen anymore. And they would authorize, okay, you can spend $75,000 more, or you can, and that way they kept a cap on it. What if the cap goes over what we have as free cash? And we haven't had that certified yet, correct?
No, that's
It is now the 20th of January.
Yeah, it's a slow-moving slog right now.
And we're in the thick of this, and the way the town manages snow and ice overages is with free cash. We don't put it in our budget. And here we are just spending away. There's no approval for that spending, and we don't even know what our free cash is. So I'm sounding like that
budgeted for this last year?
241.
Just trying to make sure that matches.
So where are we now?
You've
How much
expended-
do we need from free cash?
I don't know off the top of my head, but we've expended based on what
This says,
150K basically.
yeah, so this says we still have 90 left.
but we're 90 left and we're not over through January yet.
Well, and this was.
And
the
wages
fifth.
overtime
When was the date on
is
this? Beginning
under
of
10,000.
January. So,
As January 5th.
Mhm. And we just had another storm. Yeah, and we have another department that helps our snow and ice crew, basically,
Is it cemetery impact?
that they've been picking up some of the, the extra lifting because of, we're staff shortages, people have gotten sick, the flu is running rampant, the highway's short staffed as it is. So it's sort of coming from every angle. I completely understand your point, union, CBA, collective bargaining wise. So I want to do right by that, but also.
When would that mean take place? Like 2 months from now?
Yeah, like
A month from now?
I mean,
if you bargain something and then the employee comes and says, hey, I want this much more. If it wasn't a union, my answers would be different.
right.
But it is a union thing and it is bargained.
Mhm.
And so what if someone comes and says, hey,
I'm with you.
and it's something else that's in a union contract.
Mhm.
Are we just going to tell the employee, why, of course,
Right.
you can do that? And I understand the circumstance here, but the same thing happened last year and the same thing is coming back again.
So,
And
my take would be yes, and prove it and figure out why and what it needs to do in the future. Because it probably should have been figured out before, after it happened last year, but it wasn't.
Honestly, I don't remember any, because I was sitting in the negotiations, supposedly, when Highway was sitting at the table. And I don't recall any discussion of making that a larger number. No discussion whatsoever.
Well, so that was just the negotiations for those reductions because of the budget, though.
Oh, they were talking about all kinds of things. They weren't just talking about reductions. They didn't take any. They didn't do that.
I think we could hold on this item, to also make sure we're honoring collective bargaining discussions that should be done in certain sessions and certain not. So maybe this has been on the agenda. We know it's an issue. Let me catch up with
I would ask Jane.
I'll catch up with town council and the folks that represent the highway team and go from there. So that'll be a task I will take care of either later on tonight or tomorrow. And I'll loop the board in BCC fashion so you have record of that email.
Lori, can I chime in on this a little bit? I've been doing a pretty comprehensive review of snow and ice because I've noticed that it's going to be a big problem, and I've been actually preparing a report for you guys. Could I just chime in a little bit on part of what I see as a problem? I won't take long.
A little bit in reference to the overtime.
Well, mostly the snow and ice budget.
Pardon me?
The snow and ice budget, and then where the overtime has fallen in the past. As I've looked at, I've been studying, the last 5 years, and one big problem that's happened is you guys, not you personally, but you guys on this year's budget, but the base budget for snow and ice has been level funded for the last 3 years at 241, and it's been going up over 100,000. The actual costs have been going up over 100,000 each year. So by my calculations, which may be more because it hasn't stopped snowing and freezing rain since the beginning of December. So I don't know where we're going, but my estimation is you're going to need 400,000 to pay off snow and ice. And
you're probably right.
I think I'm at the rate we're going. If it doesn't change, if we don't get a dry spell, it could be more than that. So
I was projecting 425. So yeah, that was
doing the same math. Yeah, and I think and what I've noticed, as far as I could tell, in all the snow and ice reports, is that overtime has been put into the snow and ice costs. Now, I don't know. I don't understand where you guys are at with overtime and the snow and ice, how that really relates. I'm sure there is a union thing in there, but I mean, my concern would be, speaking more as a citizen, that if you're going to say they can't do overtime, then they can't plow snow, because we can't force people to work at straight time. We'd be violating all kinds of labor laws. So
No,
what
it's just the superintendent, it's not the
we'll
other
have Chief
people.
Smith out there plowing snow by himself, and you know, and he,
Okay.
you
All
know,
right,
that's
thank
that's
you.
that's all.
Good point.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
It's
Okay.
not the people who plow, it's the superintendent who is in a completely
Union,
different
so let's
union.
And he
Um,
does plow also.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Wait from
and,
going down the road.
no, he can, yes, but there's an overtime thing.
Okay, so,
I'll catch back up with you guys on this one.
okay, very good. We're on to 4.4. Is there a motion?
This one is the digitization of select board records and an assignment of a select board member to said project. Not much else besides that in regards to this topic. This is really just a motion for who wants to fall on the sword and go from there.
I'll do it.
For which of this?
This is the
Digitation.
digitation project.
I would like to do that.
Okay. I'll acquiesce, whatever,
Acquiesce.
acquiesce.
It's a fun word though.
Yeah.
SAT word.
So this is basically
Veronica.
assisting Sabrina with digitizing.
Yeah, getting
Select board files.
the files in order and getting things digitized,
Okay,
looking
that's
at the retention schedule, getting things that are piled up and
Yeah.
need to be filed, and
And if,
getting the old things out that we no longer need to keep.
and this is, it's okay for us to participate in because it's not a day-to-day, it's a special project.
Special project day to day. Something we need to do anyways for record keeping purposes. So what needs to be kept will be kept. What doesn't will be, properly thrown in a fire pit or into the trash. Sorry.
Shredded.
Shredded. But the good use. So you just need to make a motion to appoint Ms. Kell.
I, Valerie Goodrich, move to assign Veronica Kell to the filing, organization, and digitalization project for the select board office.
I'll second. Laura Schifrin, I'll second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote,
Veronica Kell, aye.
Valerie Goodrich, aye.
and Laura Schifrin, aye. Thank you, Veronica.
And I can do that till the end of my term. And then if you would like to do it, Lori,
Hopefully be done by
No,
then.
I'm good.
that would not be nice.
4.5,
4.5 is the disclosure from Chief Sartell of the Townsend Police Department. This is in regards to budget negotiation and the best practice, I guess would be the way I kind of infer it, for him to acknowledge a disclosure of financial interests and appearance of conflict interests as suggested by the Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association regarding Ethics Commission. I think it goes above and beyond the standard of good faith negotiations, but it's a good practice. And I appreciate Chief Sartell bringing it to our attention and sharing it with the select board to move forward and just make note of. I don't know if you have to vote.
I don't think we need
I
to
think
do
we
anything.
do I think we have to vote to approve the section
The
19
disclosure.
disclosure,
Okay.
not the section 23.
My only thought when I was reading through this was, wouldn't this kind of apply to all department heads?
It would
Insofar
for
as they are bringing their salary forward within their,
If they have a personal services
if they have a
contract.
personal services contract.
maybe there are one additional one,
There's a few in the town that would be, again, a good practice.
treasurer,
Treasurer, yeah.
maybe just let them know. I can do that just to,
Share the good news. So to Veronica's point, I think you should vote on which one was it? It was
It's the section 19 one, which is the
19B.
first sheet.
19B1.
Disclosure of non-elected municipal employee of financial
Financial
interest
interest.
and determination by appointing authority. That's the one. The next one, I think, is just a notification. That's just the disclosure.
Okay.
Um,
we can make that. I, Valerie Goodrich, move to accept the disclosure by Chief James Sartell by non-elected municipal employee of financial interest in determination by appointing authority as required by general law 268A, section 18.
Veronica Kell, second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Veronica Kell, aye.
Valerie Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
And I'll just tell those department heads to maybe, I'm sure Chief Sartell will let them know it.
Yeah, I can mention in a department head meeting. I can also just say, this is what Chief Sartell has done. You know, those that are under contract, please review and ask me any questions. I would anticipate that you follow suit.
Yeah, I think it's just library treasurer, right?
I'll review it and find
Yeah,
out. So.
if Karen can do that, that would be great.
4.6.
4.6 is designating a town administrator appointed representative for the annual audit. And to be point blank with the select board and those that are watching and listening at home, I don't have the capacity to truly pay attention to the audit with all that I have going on for you guys and with the town. And really, I know our bylaws or our guiding policies recommend the town administrator. It's probably more a treasurer type issue than it is a town administrator. The treasurer would, report up any issues or any discrepancies, things of that nature. But I think your treasurer is probably your best tool for working on that annual audit. And in that vein, I think it's something you provide compensation for, as part of their annual salary, to ensure that it's done correctly and it's accountable. Money equals accountability in a lot of situations here. And that's sort of my feeling on that. If in July you have a new town administrator, they may feel different, but I think in the short term, I don't have the capacity to put this on my list, to be point blank with you guys. So, so I'll let you discuss.
Have you discussed this with the treasurer?
I have. She said, she can fill it into her bandwidth. And, she even went ahead and worked with, our executive assistant to get the meeting scheduled, get that organized, be, gracious to the person from Roselli and Clark already. And they've begun the work. And, I think it aligns with the town accountant as well, because the treasurer is here. The town accountant is a virtual remote staff person. So.
Would you be thinking maybe using ARPA funds for a one-time stipend this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's wages and salaries. It does fall under that umbrella. I think it does, again, help create accountability for the appointment and the proper representation of the annual audit. I think $1,500, it's a lot of money, but I think it's the right tool for that role, and being properly compensated for the job. So I'd let them carry the water the rest of the way until the report comes out, and it's handed off to be reviewed with the committee.
As someone who's not on that committee, I appreciate any employees working on it.
There you go.
This is why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So, do we want to do both? I'm fine making a motion for both.
What about 5.9, review, discuss use of ARPA funds available for, we could move that piece down there, but I'm good with it. If you want a motion, if we're going to do it that way, let's do two motions, one for the treasurer to do it and one for the funding of a stipend. So that's what I would do. And then we could consider that under the second motion under 5.9.
Yeah.
Okay, can do Lori.
Is there a motion?
Can we do both? I, Valerie Goodrich, move to appoint, how do you pronounce Melissa's last name?
Melissa Dunet.
Dunet. I was going to say that, and then I was like, nope, don't say it.
She keeps mispronouncing my last name, and I gave her feedback today, so if she's watching, she'll hear it. So.
Sorry, Melissa. I, Valerie Goodrich, move to appoint Melissa Dunet as the town administrator's representative for the annual audits.
Is there a second?
Veronica Kell, second.
Any further discussion?
One last thing is I don't call them bylaws, your charter says that it should be the town administrator.
This is a one-time.
This is a one-time thing, so I just want to make sure we're respectful to the policy as it's written. So.
So should we say as
I can
town
update.
administrators representative?
Yeah,
Yeah,
town administrator,
That's what.
designated
town
representative.
Yeah, appointed
Yep.
as the town administrator's representative.
Mhm.
And I will second that amendment.
Amended second by Ms. Kell.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schifrin, aye.
Thank you very much. Once we get to 5.9 on ARPA funds, we'll discuss the amount and other parts of that agenda topic.
4.7,
4.7 is review and approve an agreement for environmental monitoring reporting at the Greenfill Road landfill. Weston and Sampson has been doing this with their engineering wing for quite some time. They're going to continue this process. The costs have gone up like everything else in the world, but we will input that into our budget and go from there. So it's not a review that I've gotten. I haven't gotten town council review of the agreement, so it might be something that gets signed out of session once town council has given us the green light.
Is this within this 80,800? Is it within?
The 3 years.
TBD.
It's over 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
So it's like, 25,
27.
27.
Yeah.
I think it's been
It's
20.
26, it's 27, 28, and 29 ending, so fiscal years.
Right, so what was it this year? It used to be 20.
it was 25 this past year.
So
and
it's
change.
not that much
It-
beyond.
It's not,
It's not
No.
a huge increase.
yeah, I believe we're required to do it.
Yes. Oh, we are required to have.
I
someone
just
has
assume
to
so,
do
but
it. Yeah.
there's value in continuity in the folks that know it.
Mhm.
So that's sort of my recommendation and thought on that. So
So Board of
Right.
Health has already signed,
the Board of Health has signed, but
and Town
we,
Council has signed.
What?
It says
Would it
Town
be-
Council.
that might be the old agreement.
Oh,
But don't
What-
quote me on
What
that.
line item would be into the budget?
must be
Would
signed.
It's around trash. If you look
Landfill,
around.
repair and maintenance, professional services?
Yes, yes.
Because professional services, last year I have 8,350.
Okay, so it's not that one.
Okay.
But it's in the general area. Let me see if I have to get to the budget.
Oh, so pardon my not having read this email. Liz from MTC had reviewed it, and she had approved it. So
Town Council has signed it.
yeah, she had a question about the insurance limit. You know, we're at 1 million and she recommended being at 2 million,
Mhm.
but I think that might be overkill, but, so I would sign and move forward.
Did you find it in the budget?
No, because I started accidentally editing it, so I just closed it. Sorry, Karen. Just closed it.
I mean, this is not filled in. I don't know if they signed it.
But I think they're
No,
waiting
it's
for
under
our,
budget.
Oh, today?
yeah.
I see.
I'm good with it because I know we have to have.
No, that's fine. I was just making sure that,
Okay, so that is not to sign out of session. It is to be signed now.
okay.
Do you want me to insert?
Would you like a motion, Larry?
Please,
20th,
20.
yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Would you like a motion? Larry?
Yes.
Yeah. I, Valerie Goodrich, move to approve the agreement of environmental monitoring and reporting of Greenville Road landfill from Weston and Sampson Engineers, Inc.
I have Veronica Cal second. Do we need a time period on that?
It's for FY 27, 28, and 29.
Okay, so that's part of the motion.
Yes.
Any other
second.
discussion?
No.
Hearing none, and that's to be signed now.
Correct.
Roll call vote.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Valerie Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schifrin, aye. And let's make sure Sabrina gets that.
We're down with that.
4.9. Oh, 4.8.
Landfill engineering, so it was 22,750
Okay.
last year, so it's gone up
Like 5,000.
5,000 a year,
Yay.
like everything else.
It's
It
just,
doesn't look like it's 5,000 a year.
a figure.
Well, a little, 25 for FY 27, 26, and then 28, so they're ramping it up.
It was 19,21,7 and 22,750 on the last
So
contract.
22. So yeah, it's 3,
Yeah.
it's up 3 and change.
it's just the world we're in right now.
Yep.
How is this stuck together? Um, Public records policy,
I don't have
I
anything on
don't
this.
have a 4.8.
4.8.
4.8, that was the first reading of the public records policy revision, and I thought you had touched base, or you touched base on the reading policies,
Yes,
but not necessarily whether we needed.
a revision.
The revision I wanted was waivers on costs.
Mhm.
If there are going to be waivers, I think it needs to come from the town administrator.
In regards to record access.
And
Yeah.
yes, so if
The
there is
fees,
a
regard to a fee.
fees, right. If there are fees being charged by an employee
Mm-hmm.
who feels that in their department to get the work done, a fee needs to be charged. I do not want the RAO waiving the fee. I think the town administrator. Now, if the town administrator is the RAO, different story. But it should be the town administrator waiving the fee, not the records access officer.
So that would be an edit to the public records policy we passed.
Correct.
So we would probably want to work that wording through town council and go from there. So,
Yeah, so I don't know how everybody else feels about it. So, that's just,
We can have a discussion on it once it's there.
once it's there,
Or, well, unless.
I don't want to make the change to, I don't
Until-
want to pay for
Well-
town council
well,
to look at
I
it.
guess the question is it within the scope of, if,
yeah, I mean, so again, whomever is in your town administrator chair, that role, I agree, should have a sort of a check and balance in terms of what's waived and what's not. And I think it's, it's a collaborative effort with your record access officer to
Of course.
understand the intensity and sort of the layers of some requests. So I think having your town administrator, also be a part of that review is important. And then determining, if something's going to take 6 staff hours, then I think we have to ask the requester, are you able to afford said costs at, it's $25 an hour for anything that's in excess of 2 hours, and, is in redactions and stuff like that. So I just think that's a proper way to use your town resources. And, have the town administrator, again, it may not always be me or whoever it is, be a part of understanding all the different complex requests that come in. So
And that doesn't really even cover the cost.
well, no, I
Actuality.
mean, my argument for this would be actually that it's important for the town administrator and the select board to understand how many hours, even if we can't collect a fee, is being used for these things. Because I know there's going to be a lot of things for which we can't collect fees.
correct.
And that's
Yeah,
fine,
and
even if
that's
they take
fine.
8 hours, that you might not be able, and that's,
And it should
And-
be shown in the budget, how much is spent.
Yeah, it's a budget thing, and it's just also, the staff work really hard here, and I think we want to make sure that, sometimes it's tough to do things and feel like you're doing them, and you're just doing your job. And I think I respect the requesters, and I really appreciate their gathering of information, but some of them take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure
And
their tax
our-
dollars are being used properly.
and our RAO is doing a lot of work too.
Yeah, the RAO's built a wonderful platform, it's a lot of requests to manage, so we gotta make sure we do right by all our folks in here, so.
So it's number 8, where it says RAOs may assess a reasonable fee. I want that reworded to say that the keeper of the record may, whoever the keeper of the record is, whatever you want to call it. If it's the treasurer's office or the accounting office, if it's going to take them longer to pull up the records. Like if it's
What does it say right now? The
RAOs may assess a reasonable fee to produce a public record, except those records that are freely available for public inspection. So if you have to go and hunt up paper
Yeah,
records
yeah,
or
that's fine.
whatever, I want that wording changed, so it's not the RAO who is assessing the fee. It's the record needs to, if it takes more than 2 hours of an employee's time or
Mhm.
whatever, then a charge may be made.
Yeah, and really it's I just had a request for some things from Guardians. I'll use this sort of case in point where the records requester asked for a Guardian history report. Guardian said, hey, it's going to take us 3 hours to do said work. Their rate is $145 per hour. We waived the first 2 hours of work. The third hour, the town absorbs that $145 of work. But I worked with our RAO to say, here's a budget, here's a line item budget that said, we need to recoup $25 for that third hour of work. And, I shared that with the RAO. He appreciated the thoroughness of the report and he shared it with the requester. I haven't heard anything additional from that. And the nice part there is the clock stops until the requester comes in with the check or the card or the cash, however they're going to pay to move forward. And then the clock unpauses and I would work with Guardian to get the records put together.
That's fine.
Well, wait a minute. Guardian is not the same as an employee here.
They are a vendor of the town.
Correct. They don't get $25 an hour. They get $145 an hour.
So we can't charge more than that.
Can't charge
So
more.
the taxpayers now are going to absorb
That is correct.
Guardian's fees for that
Yeah,
request.
that's what, a $90 difference? No, it's a $120 difference. Correct.
But that's all we can
So
charge.
that's $360 for just that one request
It is
Yeah,
390 actually.
of taxpayer money.
of taxpayer money.
It is part of
I've
our
seen-
public records charges, and
For state law.
state law. So, and that's why I
And
think
they're
it's,
really good at mandating.
that's why I think
unfunded
it's, so important
mandated.
to really understand what's being asked and, take a little bit more time to identify a budget for each request and see if it can be done in 2 hours. And if not, then the requester needs to determine their skin in the game to pay the $25 per hour outside the two.
I'm fine with that.
And that determination needs to be made within the first 10 days of the request.
Correct.
It can't be made after the fact. So people who are record keepers have to make sure that they respond quickly. And I don't know how quickly requests are going out.
Yeah, no, it's been great working with the town clerk's office.
Good.
They've been wonderful in saying, hey, we got something. And, I'll keep using that Guardian case as an example because I brought it up and they shared it with me within, I think it was 24 hours. I caught up with Guardian and we sort of worked on the line item, clarified it for the town clerk record access officer's office. And the clock has been paused per se right now until next steps. So
I think that all department heads need to be aware that they need to look right away. at
So
stuff.
yeah, that'll be another nice department head meeting topic for me,
Okay.
among a few other things. So
But I want to change where it says RAOs may assess a reasonable fee. A reasonable fee may be assessed.
I'll reword it and review with town council and bring back a proposed change.
Yes. Okay.
It may take me a week or two, but give me a
That's-
little bit of bake out time
That's
for that.
fine.
So, thank you.
All right, so that's gonna be on the
Either 2-3 or 2-10.
2-3 agenda.
Yeah. I'm hopeful for 2-3, but I've got a couple of things also
Okay.
to review with town council between now and then. No promises.
This doesn't seem like a heavy lift, that adjustment.
No, I don't think so. And I'm hopeful we can have it, move it to old business, approve it and
Okay.
kick it off our list.
I think we should also put something in there about the records requests and how they're being kept. I really want a document so that people know how that platform works.
Okay.
And it can be, it can be used from RAO to RAO.
Mhm.
And unless that's memorialized in a policy, I don't have faith that it will happen.
Yeah.
So we need to think about that too while we're,
I'll ponder that one. I may silo it for now, though.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we have 4.9, we have a proclamation. Read that.
Does anybody want to give me a pronunciation on the last name or the name
Dubril.
overall?
Dubril.
I'm sorry?
Dubril.
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 Yeah.
Is it Louis or Louis? Or
I would say Lewis. Okay.
Give me 1 second. I had a wonderful email from,
Mr.
They
Dubril?
told you?
yep, that told me. So,
Okay.
That's why I'm asking. This is a proclamation. I wanted to
so the pronunciation from our assistant town clerk is Louis and Dubril.
Dubril. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
That is what I said.
Yeah, Lori had.
just,
Okay.
just, I had to confirm.
I happen to know a family.
I don't want to be butchering this
name.
proclamation.
So,
Okay, I, Valerie Goodrich, clerk of the select board, make the following proclamation. Whereas the Boston Post-Cane traditionally been transmitted to the oldest citizen of Townsend, and whereas Louis Dubril, who was born in the year 1927 and recently celebrated his 99th birthday, as well as the 72nd anniversary of his wedding to his beloved wife, Dorothy Dubril, has been recognized as the town of Townsend's oldest resident, and whereas Louis Dubril served honorably in both the United States Army and the United States Air Force, enjoyed a 40-year career as a union carpenter, and is a member of the Townsend Congregational Church, and whereas Louis Dubril, for 21 years, has been one of the personalities who gives the town of Townsend and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts its unique history and character. Therefore, we, Valerie Goodrich, Veronica Kell, and Laura Schifrin, selectwomen of the town of Townsend, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, hereby bestow to Louis Dubril the town of Townsend's Boston Post-Cane with all respect, honors, and distinctions transmitted therein, and therefore, we, the Select Board, urge all citizens to join us in honoring Louis Dubril for his great accomplishments and venerated age, given this 20th day of January in the year 2026. The Select Board.
beautiful.
That's awesome.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Very
Mhm.
nice.
So
This has a place for our signatures.
do we have a motion to bestow the?
Yeah. I, Valerie Goodrich, move to bestow the Boston Post-Cane on Louis Dubril.
Veronica Cal second.
And here's the original. Ah, very good.
Excellent.
With a seal.
I know I'm like, this is like a ripped piece of paper. I've never seen this. I haven't.
Thank you, sir, and
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
And many more.
No, we
When
actually give them a
does the,
cane.
when
I
does
think they do.
So when does that happen?
Yeah.
They're gonna have a little ceremony. I can share that date with you internally. Typically, it would be a representative from the select board. If they're able to, can join. And if they're not, I can go potentially in one of your steads, if you will.
Or we can all go?
Or you could all go similar to like Kids Country Kickoff. It's just a moment to share with Mr. Dubril, his wonderful moment.
Okay, well.
I'll
I
circulate
don't have
that.
wonderful moments in my position, so that would be great. I would look forward to that wonderful moment. Okay. 410. There's a first reading of our temple policy.
So,
Al?
I reached out because I included in the
Yeah,
SharePoint. While the select board can recommend formats and, this is what we do in town, we can't force any other board to follow a certain agenda policy. So
well, it's not a policy, it's a template
we
that
can't,
is,
but that's not what the policy says. So, and this is the only reason I reached out. So
reached out to who?
I asked council if we can enforce this policy.
Oh,
So basically, can we
he said
enforce?
no?
Well, I put it in This is his response right there. So essentially, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong if they're interpreting it differently, but so the template policy says, and I am all for us all having consistent agendas. I think the townspeople would love it. I think everybody would love it. That being
We can
said,
still have a policy though. If they want to not follow the policy, that's up to them.
I guess I agree with Valerie on this. I think that we can put it in the handbook. And we could even put a pointer to where you can find it, like on the website
any new
or
board
somewhere.
member, you can say, here's all the
And,
templates.
Yeah,
You
because I think this is a part of that volunteer response committee that we set up. The purpose was to go through that handbook and try to make things right. I don't really want to make this into a policy, but I agree with the sentiment of having things consistent. I absolutely agree with
100%.
that. And I think that the
Well,
place
town
board,
clerk asked for a policy. Like he couldn't, I asked if he was handing out the forms with the new, which we approved. The templates to go with,
yes,
the
and I
handbook.
thought they were going in the handbook. I did, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, we just don't, from what I understand, we just don't have any recourse. I mean, we couldn't tell somebody that they're a board, they can do.
okay.
And so I am good with, I think it should be somewhere that somewhere online that boards can grab that. A paper doesn't do you any good. You really need it
So
online.
I think it would almost be like, when you get like a manual for like a new vacuum these days, or like an iRobot or anything, a cell phone, it's like the quick start review. Here's a best practice. Have the agenda, have the name of your members, dates, Zoom link, etc. This is the format that we found successful. This is your quick start for your new role as chair of the planning board or board of health or whatever it might be.
Well, the idea too was to make sure that
It's
everybody who
uniform.
was a volunteer would get them, so they knew what to expect.
And I want them to get them, trust me, like 100%.
Yeah.
I wish anybody who's new on a board should get that and it says, here's all your templates. Because I think if the new board member gets all the templates, 99% of them are gonna use them.
Right, because it's easier.
Yeah,
Why not?
But I guess the only.
Well, it looks more professional than what we have coming across our desks sometimes.
And I just wanted clarification on that, and because I was like, I remember this from MMA training that the select board does not have a lot of authority on this, and that was Adam's, response was we couldn't enforce.
And
So when the policy says, in documents shall utilize only those templates that have been formally approved by a select board. We can formally approve a template, but we can't.
who's even gonna be checking the templates to see if they're doing it? Not me. So,
Well, if you go to enough of your boards or look at the agendas that are put out by some of the boards.
I think, well, here's what I think. I think boards that have administrative help, like the CR committee, we have administrative help because it's
So
a select
staff should
board.
be using the
And
templates.
so Sabrina
Like
puts
staff
the
on
stuff
boards.
on letterhead, on the format. She uses the
So
format.
at least they look more professional.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll think of my land use friends, and they each work with 3 different boards. They do a fine job of organizing it based on, I think it's really similar to the select board model.
Mhm.
And I think that's,
Land use does a great job.
yeah, so
They're
that's
not the
it.
issue.
It makes it really easy as a newcomer to town to be like, all right, it's the same agenda I saw at the select board that the planning board has. So but it's a great practice. It's not something that, you could enforce on just your, flag committee board, if that's a board or whatever it might be, because that's just volunteers, for the most part.
Right, and they
That's an
don't have
example.
staff support. They don't have paid staff support.
And there's some boards that
But-
have staff that have done it themselves.
But if
The library's
you
always done
give
it, that
them
board.
the handbook and the templates are in there and where to find the template online, you only need to find it the first time. After that, you're good to go because you just edit it and change the date.
Yeah.
So a policy though makes
So
it,
the handbook is online, right? and then the templates can all be online.
Yes,
I
and
hope
that,
so.
and I
So
think
nobody
that's
has to
good.
do anything. The town clerk doesn't have to hand it out. People don't have to sign
Well,
off on it.
someone has to let the board know that the handbook exists. And I think that that's always been the town clerk office in my experience,
Yes, it
although
has.
you didn't get it at all,
This,
Valerie.
this whole thing started because in 9 years, I never had a handbook.
Get out. But you were appointed and sworn in?
I
It's not-
always got one
I
if
never got
I
one.
was new to a board.
Sworn in many
After I
times.
was on many,
So that's
many
how
boards,
this
I didn't
whole-
get offered it anymore. But-
So, but yeah, I mean, I think I 100% want there to be out there available for people. I just don't think we can have policy for it.
I think it could just go under
Okay.
town clerk's website, and I'll work with him to say, can you just have a blank Word document with the header set, footer set, fields in, here's an example, and say,
Yeah.
please share this with anybody you bring in and.
Highly
sort.
recommend you use it.
Yeah,
It's a
Okay.
best practice,
So 4.10 is no action taken.
correct.
5.1.
I'm gonna quickly jump in here. If you look at the fives, I inadvertently took out 5.8 and I deleted it, so there is not a 5.8. It goes 5.7 to 5.9, so I just don't want to confuse any of our friends online and folks participating. And also, we are anticipating for 5.2 and 5.3 our school friends to join us around 4:45-ish.
5, maybe.
5, so we're a little ahead of
Oh.
schedule. So just throwing that out
Hallelujah.
there. We're doing great work. Keep it up. So,
Yeah, Randy Rush will be here some 4:45, 5 o'clock,
mhm.
something like that.
But your 5.1 is clarification of Townsend first policy. I don't have a lot to opine on this other than, I think the Townsend first policy was a great practice that was enacted back in 2022 at the tail end of COVID. I do think it's important to remember that Mass General Law supersedes any said first policy for any community in the state. So that's important to remember. And this might be an opportunity to either pull back the Townsend first policy or to more lengthy debate, not necessarily tonight per se, but more thoroughly review how this could be carried forward in the future. Having read it, it does leave some gray in my personal opinion, rather than provide clarity.
It wasn't meant, I was on the board when this
Yeah.
was discussed, and it was COVID, and it was to support local
Mhm.
businesses, et cetera, et cetera. It wasn't meant to supersede the bidding process for RFPs or anything like that. You still have to be the lowest bidder or
Correct.
whatever the rules are. And so it wasn't that, but if it's under 10,000 and you have the choice of choosing from someone in town or someone out of town,
Mhm.
that was the purpose.
That was
of that.
the guiding principle.
That was the guiding principle, yeah. So, anyway.
I hate to say not a lot of projects fall under $10,000 anymore, but it seems like in
Well-
our world, we don't have many of those.
If you
but I
were
know what you mean.
catering, or
Yeah.
you were doing pest service,
Mhm.
or you were going to
Landscaping or,
paint the wall,
This
or
also-
landscape, or mow.
This also doesn't apply to hiring too, though.
correct, it does not,
No,
yeah.
Well, what does the first paragraph say?
Seek to hire from within the department and from existing qualified town employees.
and this was reviewed by town council, by the way.
Mhm.
So, so it's within the confines of the law and all other factors being reviewed.
Yeah, or you can do nothing, just something to revisit, and just thought it was good to bring it back to us, so.
Do you think it should be changed?
I mean, I know a lot of towns don't have a policy like this, because I think sometimes it gets confusing.
And those that want it could look to us.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, that's
So,
another, I mean, because somebody else isn't doing it doesn't mean that we can't,
Oh, no,
or that it shouldn't be done.
because
No.
we're always looking at other towns for policies that we don't.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, fishing around.
So,
of course.
I am not opposed to this. I think, it's a good idea to stay local if you can stay local,
Mhm.
provided all factors are equal. You know,
So there may be no action here, it's just,
Okay,
if we're gonna have a golf tournament that we're gonna sponsor as a fundraiser, do it here in town.
Yeah.
Not,
Shaker Hills in Hager.
right, that's the type of thing that was driving this.
Can we do that, golf tournament, raise some money? That sounds great.
Well, you know,
Springtime's around the corner, right?
giant bake sale.
Giant-
why not? That's how you get money in town,
That's
right?
right.
Forget those
Yeah.
overrides.
Yeah.
No, just,
Yeah.
So no action to be taken here. Again, just wanted to
Yeah.
bring it before the gang to take a look at, and appreciate the
if
clarification.
people are interested in changing it, absolutely. I'm not necessarily, and it was vetted. So,
I'm not
Okay.
interested.
You know, I would take 5.2 and 5.3 and hold on those
Hold. Mhm.
yeah.
and let you guys,
Exactly.
jump to 5.4 and the rest of the agenda, so.
So I was delinquent and, you know, I have been this special municipal employee. Who are the special municipal employees in town and who knows? So I've spent a lot of time going through old agendas and minutes because that's where it is.
Okay.
I'm not so sure, sorry, Jack, is he still on? That the town clerk's office even has declarations of every special town employee. So there's a list now in the SharePoint to be perused.
Oh,
And
All of these?
yeah, and you can see the dates. I will talk about the fire chief. So this isn't exactly, it's more of a memo on special municipal employees in Townsend. I do know that I was on the board when our fire chief was the first contract for part-time.
Mhm.
And my understanding at the time was that the fire chief was a special municipal employee. And I thought that because of a former fire chief,
Mhm.
30 to 40 years ago, who was also a facilities person in the school and the fire chief. And my understanding was that that person was a special municipal employee. And it runs with the
The role.
position, not with
Not
the
the
person.
Yeah.
So if you go through here, and I am sure there are more. In fact, I found that I think it's Cemetery and Parks Commissioners. There are 2 dates where they've been, appointed, and I have all the documents here. One was like in '98, and then again in 2016, when John Barrett requested
Mhm.
that the position be made when both the moderator and because he was on both of these and he works as a municipal attorney
Mhm.
from time to time. So in any event, all of these positions are special municipal employees. And I'm sure there are others. I just haven't gone through every single thing.
Like, is the town administrator one?
The town administrator is not one that I've found, but I could probably look around the 2015, 2016
Yeah, be
timeframe
curious, just because it's,
and see if I can find that.
Yeah.
Select board members are
mhm.
special municipal.
That's by state law.
Pardon me?
By state law.
Yes, that is correct.
And what benefits?
And so are
what benefit is that
part-time
for us?
fire department employees and workers, are by Mass General Law. Part-time fire EMS employees are.
All firefighters are. All of them are.
I don't know about full-time, but part-time are. All part-time are. So all the on-call, all the per diems are, all part-time. I don't know about full-time. The police chief is a special municipal employee. So in any event, I thought it was a start for this. Because it's kind of mind-boggling to me that it's even being
Our dear friend,
questioned.
Assistant Town Clerk Jack, seems to have a list in front of
You
him.
got a
have
bigger
a list?
list?
I do. The town clerk's office maintains a list of special municipal employees.
Let me see how it compares to mine.
Are they by name or position?
Position. So, so basically,
You have one more copy, or did Val get two?
yeah, I have a few more copies there. So
You're just hoarding the copies, it's fine.
the select board at various times has designated, different positions,
Assessors.
as special municipal employees.
So the moderator was in 63, but it was also declared in 2016. There are many of these. Go in the back.
Why does it
The,
only show the part-time chief in 2024 and not 63?
So in order for a position to be eligible to be designated as a special municipal employee, it has to meet certain requirements. And one of them is, I believe, is that a position has to be either unpaid or someone works less than a certain number of hours per year.
Or the employee holds a part-time position that allows them to work at another job during normal working hours.
Right.
And they are ors, not ands.
The fire chief was certified in 1963, but it's only on here in 2024.
Can I ask kind of an important question before I continue this conversation? What's the impetus behind having this conversation right now?
It's because of the ethics thing that came
So,
out about whether
I'm
or
not
not.
going to participate in the conversation then because I've been advised not to participate in an ethics conversation.
Well, it's not about ethics. It's about,
But that is the impetus behind this list is we were asked to do this because of the ethics investigation. So,
okay.
which is fine. You
And then
can
it
come
Well,
around
I
and
think
we're
it's
done.
clarification.
No, thank you.
No.
Yeah, I
So-
appreciate it. It'll save me time.
And it's no offense right here, but
I've spent a lot of time, and the dates are different.
Yeah.
Because some of these positions were declared more than once. So
And
it's kind of interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the dates, I mean, I wasn't born in 1963, but that seems like forever ago. And I wonder if it's a good process every now and then to revisit the categorization of certain roles in the position as a special municipal employee, just out of good practice. It's almost like redoing your website every 5 years. It's something you should do. But I don't know. I don't know much about the role of a special municipal employee, so I am not an expert whatsoever in this field.
it's just something that affects, when ethics disclosures are required to be filed. Like there's all these ethics and conflict of interest rules that are connected to that status.
Right.
And this is just the list that the town clerk's office has right now, but it's very possible that there might be a discrepancy or something might be missing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just heard you mention it, so I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's just weird that why are they all different dates and why would the dates, these are positions, not people.
Correct.
So why would that change?
My answer, people don't know. If you ask me who had been, it's exactly why the fire chief wasn't declared a special municipal employee in 2021 or others. I mean, you just don't think about it.
And so something else to keep in mind is that at one point in time, a position may have been full-time. At another point in time, it was
Budgetary constraints.
Example is
Right,
town
things
accountants.
change.
town accountant, part-time,
Right.
1998, was declared a special municipal employee because the part-time town accountant was also the fire chief's secretary. So somewhere in here, you'll find the fire chief's secretary, 1998. So at the same time that they declared that, they also declared that, you know, when they've had someone in two positions
Right.
in the town, they would declare both of those positions when the person was hired. And so you just don't know. And that's why over and over, like the moderator in 1963 was declared, and I have all the emails
The
for what I,
moderator was later than that.
and the moderator was also 2016. But if you look at Jack's list, moderator was 1963. They didn't need to redo it in 2016, but nobody
Checked.
nobody had that. And I'm not even sure if this is actually correct, because could it have been missed? Of course, it's human. It's
Right, this is just a list that's kind of updated by different town clerks over the years as a resource for us. So if somebody comes to the clerk's office and asks because the clerk's office is a place people go to file certain ethics disclosure forms.
right.
So sometimes people ask, am I a special municipal employee? So this is just the
I would
document that
never
we look
have thought
at
to ask that.
too.
So the wiring inspector was declared in 2015. I don't think you have that on here. The alternate wiring inspector was declared in 2015, but the month before that, so was the inspector. Same with the plumbing inspector. And I have all the minutes because I've been going through minutes looking for special municipal employee. And this is the list I came up with. I didn't have all the 60s, but I did have 2011 library technician. So it's interesting, and that's why. I'm sorry, Valerie feels she can't talk about this.
If you or anybody else sees something missing or discrepancy, definitely we're interested in updating it.
Oh, here it is, inspector of wires. You do have it, but you have an inspector of wires.
Right.
What about plumbing inspector? Do you have that? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So,
While we have you, can I ask you a question
Yes.
having to do with the templates? that we
Yes.
did?
Mhm.
So are you handing them out with the handbook?
Not yet.
Well, because you didn't, but Harrison asked for a policy in order to do so. We are saying they should be included in the handbook
Right, so.
without a policy.
So right now, there's a board and committee handbook,
mhm.
and that's one of the things that's handed to someone when they're sworn in, along with the open meeting law guide and a few other documents. So, I think the town clerk's office certainly could add templates to the packet that's given to people.
That's what the VBCC, I thought, was chartered to do, was to make updates to that handbook. It's the select board's handbook. We could pull it back to the select board.
I think it's just a question of timing. I think in discussions I've had with the town clerk, I think the general intention was that whenever the work of the VBCC was completely wrapped up, then the next thing was that I was probably going to take it all and then put it all into, like, create the new packet that goes out to people when they're sworn in.
And updated, like with January 2026?
You're talking about the templates?
Yeah.
Specifically?
Yeah, or like
And
the
the handbook.
recommended sort of form and things like that.
In the handbook.
Yeah, and then I think once that has happened, then the VBCC would probably dissolve from their role.
We're dissolved already.
So tell me, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We were
That's
dissolved
a-
at the last
we-
meeting.
Oh, you dissolved at the last meeting? Oh,
I thought we had a motion to dissolve at the last meeting.
for the VBCC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we have it on our to-do list to take what the VBCC did.
Yeah.
And I think,
Incorporated over time, so.
yeah, and I think an idea you had at one point, Lori, was to actually have a binder and the, you know.
And give them a binder,
And that the binders can have.
everything in it.
You know, so I think that's the goal, so that just needs to be implemented.
Okay, I didn't dream up the policy, okay? It was asked that in order to make it, here comes our clerk,
All right.
please.
If I may.
This is not on the agenda, you guys, but
It is on the
the
agenda.
template is.
The template is.
So on the topic of the template and
I'm
only.
just gonna say, we're pausing the special municipal employee topic for now.
Yes.
Thank
Okay, I'm
you.
gonna grab my computer, try to
Thank
let you
you.
guys
Okay.
talk about policies.
Okay.
Okay,
So where we left the VBCC, as far as I can recall, is that we adjourned and didn't set a date for another meeting, pending a conversation of the select board of where this was gonna head.
We did not dissolve. We did
So
not
we-
dissolve.
We at the
Looking at
VBCC discussed dissolution and were basically ready to not return if the select board was happy with where we were. So we were mentally prepared for dissolution.
yeah, the BBCC template.
It's
policy.
not on
I
here.
want to talk about that.
So we were prepared for dissolution, but we're not officially dissolved until
We
the select board
dissolved the
takes that
cable
action.
advisory committee. That's what we
we did.
dissolved. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Laurie.
and so on the topic of, placement of the policies and handbooks or where we were, the new combined consolidated handbook that the VBCC produced does contain these templates. And we were, pending, finalization before that becomes the handbook that's going to be distributed. So once that is the handbook that is being distributed, those templates will be in there. We just can't enforce, look, we can't, let's say a committee comes in and wants to post an agenda. We can't say to that committee, well, the policy is, you have to use this template. So if the select board wanted to enforce it, then a policy would be helpful because those boards and committees are required to follow your policies. And so if you make that your policy, barring what council has to say, so you can speak to that.
You
I haven't
can-
had that conversation.
You can
But-
read the,
That's all right.
I'll forward it to you, because
yeah.
I forwarded it to everybody else.
Sure. And so that's that's all I've got on that. So wherever the select board wants to take the VBCC, if it wants to wrap up the work of the VBCC itself by adopting the final documents once those are put together, then, there's that. If the select board thinks that there's more work to do, we can be sent back with more work. However, wherever we want to go, there's a path forward.
It's the handbook itself.
Yeah.
And the templates were to be put into the handbook.
Yeah,
Which
and
should also
they
be,
are
which
there
should be
now.
online.
Well, since it was still pending finalization, it wasn't put out there yet, but it's,
But the templates were approved and the dates
Yeah.
that they were approved by us
Mhm.
should be on the
Yeah,
forms
I
that
could
were.
double check and make sure the status of that. I'm not 100% sure if the dates of the approval have been added on there yet.
But I
Okay,
mean,
they should
I
be.
think if you've got that handbook and templates and people are, my priority is getting board members informed
Mhm.
on, here you go, because I think if you give them access to all that, people don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly. And that was the whole thing. Plus it has the box for the stamp of when it gets stamped in, which was ingenious, okay? It lets them know, oh, this has to be stamped and then it gets posted. Or the minutes, same thing. I have to take it to the town clerk to be posted.
I like the idea of Jack compiling everything that you guys have done. Just give it to us for review,
Mhm.
because everything that you've done has been,
Well, it's
Good
pretty much
stuff.
already compiled.
yeah,
compiled.
so just
The
look
only
at
thing
it,
that's left
bless
is,
it, and see if there's
Yeah.
anything missing.
there were one or two documents that were made after the VBCC kind of put the whole packet together. So other than those insertions into the big existing packet already, then it'll be done. So that's.
And having
quick.
it online so people can access that template
Mhm.
for,
And it's
Download the
Word.
agendas.
It's
and-
Word and
Okay.
PDF, so there's options. So for those who would rather just type in on a PDF, and those who want to get more custom with it can use a Word document.
I think that's great.
It's perfect.
So I think we go with it.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for coming on,
And
Jack.
Jack, thank you for
Appreciate
this.
your,
I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
So you should probably leave again.
I just wanted to be part of that conversation because that was my
I just want to, to note something that in 1963, the Board of Fire Engineers was given the special municipal status. I think that includes the fire chief.
Fire chief.
That's what I think. I think that the way things have changed.
The
over
position is
time,
on the board.
because it is a 1963 article that states
Mhm.
that the fire chief is a special municipal.
A published article.
A published article locally.
Do we have that article?
Yeah,
I
it was in Nelson's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have it
He got it and
in my
sent it to
hands right
everyone.
now, but he sent it to all of us. It's probably in my email somewhere.
Mine too,
But I
probably
think
somewhere.
that's what's being referred to. And that people from that, the fire chief was inferred to be that. That's what I think.
So what's your thoughts here is to share this letter with, you're just recognizing these roles.
Yes, and there's way more than I thought. I would scan this and add it. This is the fire
Maybe
chief's,
just
town
an
clerks.
informational memo to everyone.
Okay.
to all department
Yeah,
heads.
it's
I
not
think is what I
singling
would
out
do.
anybody. It's
And
just
then-
letting them know.
Because who would know? You know, some of these have been, like the 1963 moderator one was, again voted
Again.
later, again.
20,
And it
22,
didn't need to be.
21.
2016 or something. When did John come on?
2016, I think it was summer of 2016.
So I'm not on that.
How does it work for, like, you have a conservation assistant and then a conservation agent?
It used to be two
'Cause we used
separate
to-
positions,
Okay.
and then it was combined, and then it was made separate. It's a budgetary thing,
Right,
Mhm.
okay,
is what it
Then it
comes
got-
down to.
married together.
And the agent sometimes is just the agent, and there's an assistant in place who only does minutes and
Mhm.
that sort of thing. Sometimes there's just an assistant and no agent. Sometimes there's an agent that does both duties. So it has,
Sometimes
Job
we had a land
description
use
back and
coordinator.
forth.
Yeah,
yeah,
back in the day.
back in the day. So,
Okay,
it's, and that's why I put them on the same line when I wrote it down.
so here's one more clarifying question.
Mhm.
In terms of the fire chief role, are they only a special employee if they're part-time?
I don't think so. The police chief,
Because I don't see the parentheses after any other role except for,
well, I put it after the town accountant because the vote where the town accountant was made, do you have mine? When I did? I have to find mine.
yeah,
I have to get back to my SharePoint.
yours says fire chief part-time, and then it says
Town accountant.
town accountant part-time. So
Because when the position was hired,
okay,
they made the position a special municipal employee. But the person being hired was part-time, and that's why I put part-time there.
so then what's the delineation between the role and the person in these?
It is only the role.
So the role is you're a special municipal employee if you're a fire chief and you're part-time. You're a special municipal employee if you're the town accountant and you're part-time.
Well, look at 1963. The town, you don't have, do you have
I have
this?
this
It's
one.
on back, it's on the back, town accountant. They don't specify part-time there. But the thing that I have up there, what was the year on it? I have not yet made it back to my
Because
SharePoint.
That's what I'm trying to determine whether things were does the most recent date supersede the origin of the role?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. It seems like a ton of stuff was voted in 1963. I
Yeah,
think
it's a
they
busy year.
probably took all the jobs that were in town, and that would explain why the person I'm thinking of back in the early 80s was
Mhm.
okay to be a fire chief
Right,
and was part-time. I think the Board of Fire Engineers included every single fire person in town, whether they were the chief or the whatever else, captain, board of fire engineers. And I would have to look at the
Which is
town,
fascinating. What an
you could look
interesting
at the
naming
town,
convention.
book
Yeah,
and see who were those people at that time.
yeah.
But that's what and it's interesting that 1963 is the date on the article that
Mhm.
Nelson had.
Mm-hmm.
So, in any event, that's what I've got.
Okay.
So I would distribute this to, and maybe you want to add this. This is the town accountant. I went through everything I could find online.
Well, I'd love to just put it under the town administrator's office and essentially with the town clerk's permission, scan this in and say, this is how we track it.
Right.
Just like, what
But
better way
there
for
may
transparency?
be, I haven't gone through my whole list to make, because I have different dates on some of these.
Yeah,
I'd
I'd almost
The
ask,
moderator being an example.
yeah, I'd almost ask the town clerk if they're willing to stamp this and put the red stamp received on it so that it's an official thing that's been reviewed with their office, because this is a wonderful document. And then we put it online, so it's available to anyone. What's the harm in that?
Right.
And then it's very clear to folks, our residents and our employees, whether your position falls in that world or not,
Or not, exactly.
right? And if you want to if you think your role belongs on here, you probably have to come through whatever designation process there is, and then the town clerk's got to update their record.
Speaking of that, I am going to ask TAHT, because it's in the bylaws that they can be special municipal employees, and I am going to request that all the trustees of TAHT be named special. I want to get a vote from the board before I do that, but.
And probably whoever the admin, if they have it, if in the event they have an admin, that role will fall, because your grant writer should probably be a part of that
Yes,
world.
exactly. I agree. So,
And what is the benefit?
It's the designation that it's a part-time role, that they can do another job. And I think that makes the position a bit more attractive.
it doesn't have to be a part-time role.
Doesn't have to, it's an
If you
or.
look at it's an or.
Right.
So you're not paid, or you have a position that allows you to work another job during normal hours. It says holds a part-time position. Employee was not paid by the town for more than 800 working hours during the preceding 365 days.
Yep. Generally,
That's
municipal employees are prohibited from holding more than one paid position or contracting with the same city or town. However, special municipal employee status can be assigned to a certain municipal position by a vote of the Board of Selectmen. Several specific municipal positions are automatically designated as special under the law. Employees are eligible to be designated as special municipal employees, provided that the employee is not paid. So your housing trust folks would fall into that role. The employee holds a part-time position that allows them to work at another job during normal work hours. So I'll use my own personal position as the trust admin. I was also working as the trust admin, but also writing grants, and I had, a job outside of the workplace. And the employee was not paid by the town for more than 800 working hours during the preceding 365 days. I hadn't hit that threshold yet. So those are the ors that would designate that position, or a grant writer that you just hired to write grants for the town. So they could also go be a realtor or work at Applebee's, something to that effect. So, sorry, I'm not trying to.
Here's a job that isn't on here, payroll clerk, 6/25/2014. It's not on here, on the town clerk's list. Let me see. The zoning assistant on here. Zoning Board of Appeals assistant, what's their date?
11/7/2006.
That's when I have it too. Cemetery and Park Commissioners. I have 1963. And I have 2016.
So do you want to finish going through that and point out the differences between what the town clerk's office has and what the records show?
I think I would, ask the town clerk to add these, the ones that I
Are
have that
not
they
there.
don't have.
Yeah.
And that it gets stamped and given to, Kieran
And I'm,
for distribution to department heads. It's however you want to do it. And I think that I want a definition of Board of Fire Engineers.
and I think I would send out an email to, our department heads and say, you know, we have received an update working with our town clerk. And, you know, we're gonna have a sublink under related links on the left-hand side that says special town employees or special municipal employees. So like we have budgets and contract, we're gonna have another like miscellaneous tab, link. Click that, it's gonna land you and say special municipal employee PDF here. It will have the red town clerk stamp on it, received. And if we add other roles to it, we say this is as of January 21st, that this was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So,
I'd like to see that before
Maybe I'll send it around,
it gets
or perhaps it's
stamped.
how about it's a voting item for 2-3?
That's-
Or, you know, we could always table it to the next one after that if we need to, but,
No, I'd like to see those clarifications
yeah, the
done.
full list.
Yeah.
So,
there are park commissioners and there are cemetery commissioners. But then I also have cemetery and park commissioners.
Yeah. I may
Um,
table this to Veronica to share her list with the town clerk and then run it back
Bring
through
it
us
back.
and then go from there, just to
Okay.
keep it moving, so,
Okay.
yeah, that's something.
if that's okay with you.
Oh,
I'm giving you work to do,
absolutely okay with
but,
me.
but I know you've got a good
Nothing
research
new.
brain going there, so.
And I'll
And I'll circulate back
have
to
a
you.
conversation with you
That sounds like a plan, yeah.
about one point I'd like to make.
I'm sorry, the other thing is, can I just say one thing on this? I know we're circling back, is that the date that he has here is different from my date for fire chief secretary, for example, because the later date is the date it was stamped in by the town clerk's office. The date I have is the date in the minute.
Stamp date is what,
What counts, okay,
because that means it's gone through that office,
and then stamped.
rubber stamped, yeah. It's like a
Okay.
paycheck, right?
I
The paycheck
didn't-
says you get paid on the 1st, but if they don't sign that check.
Some of the
you don't get
minutes
paid.
online are stamped and some of them aren't. So, okay, that's it, I'm done, okay.
I think that satisfies this issue. There's no voting items. We technically don't have a quorum right now, so I will ask Val to come back in as we take a 1-minute siesta. I'm Kieran, by the way. Randy, thanks for coming out. Do you need a piece of candy, sugar, all the things?
Fun fact of the day, I live in the house that Randy Rush used to live in.
Oh, really?
Fun fact of the day.
Yes, that is a fun fact of the day, huh?
The history fact of the day is that this was the start of Franklin D. Roosevelt's 4th term.
Fourth. Whoa,
Fourth,
mommy.
yeah.
Don't say that too loud. I'm sorry.
Well, interesting, the school down the way has some of his gear from when he went and spoke there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's one of the high points of their history wing, so.
Cool.
Should we memory?
Yeah, she used the just quick bio break, I think, so.
Okay, let me see what you have here.
They're just little boob, they're like Pop-Tarts for adults. That's the way I chalk those up.
Gosh, at these marathon meetings, you need
Trying
something.
to find the right one.
There's all sorts of stuff.
It's a lot. There's all sorts of chocolate in there.
Oh, good. Maybe later.
My girlfriend and I have been doing like the cookies at Whole Foods, which are so good. They're like pre-made. She got like chocolate chip ones and I got like It's whatever, like all the batters that were left that you just throw in there. It's so good. Like, all the sugars. It's exactly what I need.
See, my daughter's really good at making this stuff.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
You're here for the school, which topic for the school? Both?
Both.
Both, all right, interchangeable, excellent.
Yes, I'm the school committee liaison for Townsend.
Awesome. Will you be at that meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
The budget.
Budget meeting,
No, that's the finance subcommittee.
Got it, okay, excellent.
So many wheelhouses in the school committee.
Just
Lots of different roles.
for our friends at home, we have 5.2, which is review and discuss status of lease agreement draft with Spalding Memorial School. And that will probably segue nicely into 5.3, which is review, discuss status of North Middlesex Regional School District Agreement. We have covered 5.4 in our agenda. We will not be revisiting that topic tonight. As Lori is returning to the room, and once she's seated, we'll jump into 5.2.
Thank you for the little break.
No problem.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
This is a Val topic, so I will
Yep.
table it to Val.
Well, so I'm not quite sure how it all got back to us, but we were just looking for an update on, first of all, the, what is it? The lease agreement with Spalding Memorial School.
Okay. I have spoken with Nancy Haynes in the district, and it's almost complete. We were looking and working with Townsend last year on updating the agreement. And we needed to we took a step back on Townsend Recreation, use of the buildings. At first, Townsend had asked for that to be in the lease. We thought it should be a separate agreement. We finally came to an agreement that worked out for everybody. We took that out. It's a separate agreement for Townsend Recreation,
Okay.
because they use more than one building. It's more than
Yeah.
just Spalding, so.
And I know sometimes it changes based on what's being
Based on
done at the schools
availability
in the
and stuff.
summer.
So we do have a separate agreement with the town for Townsend Recreation use. And with everything that was going on last year with the votes for Ashby Elementary, and if we were closing a building and the budget, we just never came back to pull that language out of the draft lease and resubmit it. So
Okay.
Nancy is going to be working on having that original language pulled out of the lease. That's now in agreement, and we will submit something to the town.
Perfect. We have some things that got lost in the
Yes.
snafus, and the
Yes.
sooner we get this,
Absolutely.
the better, so it's in the done box.
Yeah. Is this with, I know Emmy from our recreation group, is this with groups of their effort?
That was a separate
Efforts of
agreement
their
that we ended up with.
Okay.
Townsend Rec uses one of the buildings. A lot of times it's been Hawthorne Brook in the past, sometimes it's Spalding, kind of depends on what the district is doing for summer projects, for use for her program during the summer.
Okay.
When the lease came up for Spalding, Townsend wanted to put something in there so they always would have use of the building.
A space, basically.
A space to use. But being that that was one building and they sometimes are switched around, we thought it best to have its own agreement.
Okay.
So the other thing was, because I was on the board when we were working on this lease before, so it was also the fees that were being charged.
And those
That
were, all-
was-
and, right, those were all addressed in the side agreement for Townsend Rec.
And how long is that side agreement? Does it run the same length as the,
You're testing my memory now. I have to go back.
I'm just curious because
Yeah.
I'm good with the agreement if it runs for the same length as the, it's 10 years or something. This was from September 2022, so the dates are so if
Yeah.
the agreement with Townsend Rec runs for the same length as the school lease, I'm good with that.
Okay.
It was becoming prohibitive this was the reason for putting in cost-wise.
Right.
Where the rec didn't used to have to pay these exorbitant fees, it was now fees that were not sustainable by the program.
It was signed for 10 years. Looking
And
at
it's
it.
a 10-year, yeah.
Thank you. I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
this-
my memory's not that
And
good.
so if the agreement with rec goes for 10 years too,
This is,
this has to be changed.
this is the Spalding Memorial School and the town of Townsend. So it must be the town of Townsend Recreation Department.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to get a copy of it before.
I think this is the old lease. I don't think the rec department is pulled out of here. I think the rec department is in here. So this is an
I know
old
we
lease.
haven't submitted it with that language pulled out yet. Nancy's gonna work on that with the attorney to pull that.
The language that is here is what I know I was looking at way
Okay.
back. The other thing is Fessenden Field.
Those were being taken out, from our lease.
And so when did that happen? Because they've renovated those fields, under this lease, I guess. Or what is the status of the ball fields with the town then? Because that was
I think it's
supposed to be, but this lease was never executed,
Right.
and it was part of the Spalding lease.
This is,
Yeah.
this ends in June 30, 2027.
What
And
is
this
it?
This is rec. This
Yeah,
is
this
rec.
is recreation.
It's 3 years.
Yeah, so that needs to be renegotiated and rewritten so that it runs for the same time as the Spalding lease, is what I think.
Yeah,
If they're
unless-
removing it from the lease, I would want the agreement to run for the same time as the lease for the school.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
the date, the kickoff date would be by March 1st of 2027. If you hit March 2nd and you haven't asked for any new agreement terms, it automatically renews for one more year.
just one.
1 year each cycle.
So it
doesn't
keeps going
protect.
for infant,
No,
Well-
only if, not necessarily.
Unless you
It
stop it.
depends on.
It's
If you've written-
auto-renewing
yeah, if you've
unless-
written
Like
notice.
that,
written notice.
but it's not guaranteed. I would want it guaranteed for the 10 years, or I understand the
I
reason.
will bring that back, to the district and see what they wanna do and what the school committee wants to do. I hear what you're saying as far as having it run. I am a year and a half at least out from looking at this the last time when we did it, so my memory really, I'd have to go back and take a look at notes and see exactly what was all the details, so I wouldn't wanna misspeak now.
Okay,
But I hear what you're saying, that you wanted to run the same, as the Spalding Memorial
Right.
list, and guarantee those payments, so I will bring that back and, definitely have the district contact the town,
okay.
to finish working this out.
I'm also curious then, this means that Fessenden Field right now is under the school district. And they did all sorts of work on that.
We have no problems giving that up. We had taken a vote that we were going to do that. It just
And
didn't-
it
it was put
part
into
of
the lease
this,
and we just did not execute on the lease. So,
but they made the improvements, even though what's the agreement with the ball organization then, at this point?
Couldn't tell
I know
you.
you don't know, I don't know either, because
I may know.
I wasn't a selectman from the point where, it would have been me signing this lease, because I was the chair of the Board of Selectmen when this was negotiated.
Yeah.
And this is what I left thinking it was. And the TAYBS, whatever it
Oh,
is, has a, agreement with the town, and I don't know if we do or not.
I can
So I
do some digging
think
this week.
that
I'll catch up with whoever I can find.
find out what the status of all this is,
Mhm.
because,
yeah, the district was not gonna stand in the way of, tabs or, of them taking over,
the
the
fields and
fields,
doing
doing the
that.
renovations.
And I have no problem with that either, but there are people in town who are looking for, that's a town field and it wasn't bid out properly, blah, blah, blah. And so it's the same thing.
I'll put my recreation hat on at the end of this week and
And
see what I can learn. So,
figure it out.
Yeah,
Because
that'll be a Friday.
I don't know what happened there.
so
And I'm good with Fessenden being pulled out, and I am good with,
The side agreement
the
for,
side agreement, as long as it runs in conjunction with the lease for the school. That's what I think.
Yeah, and the special town meeting article was 2023, when the town voted for the 20-year lease
For this,
for Spalding.
for Spalding. So this was already voted. The one that we're looking at
2023.
in SharePoint was voted. And
The
approved.
Spalding memorial.
Spalding.
I'm just talking about at town meeting, special.
At town meetings.
Yeah.
This had to be approved at town meeting, and it was. So we're gonna have to bring it back to town meeting if it has changed. Because the lease is the one we're looking at, which includes the ability to have rec. This lease was never executed, even though we voted it at town meeting.
But so then why, so that's not in the article. The article, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen into a 20-year lease with North Middlesex Regional School for the Spalding School. It doesn't say,
It wasn't the actual lease, they gave permission to the board to.
yes. So I don't
negotiate
think,
it.
I think we could, on the lease side, take that out, but because it's not part of the motion.
Oh,
It's
it
just,
wasn't? What does it say?
but not to include the parcel of land with the two as residence and field, but it doesn't mention recreation. The
Recreation was part of the lease that was in play when that was.
But it doesn't say so in the
Yes.
article, so I don't think we would have to bring it back to,
Okay.
the article doesn't mention.
I'm going to suggest that I catch up with our recreation folks. The lease agreement I've had emailed to me from our recreation director. I'll chat with you offline and catch
Okay.
up with it, and then circle back up with you and keep Val in the loop, as I think she's your liaison. And then hopefully have an update either 2, 3, or the week after, when you guys have had some more work, more time to discuss it. So
Yeah,
keep it moving forward.
All right, thank you.
yeah.
And then, I guess the big one,
If that's okay with you guys.
5-3, right? Or 5-4?
The 5,
No, 5-3.
5-3.
Please,
5-3.
original.
Yeah.
And the regional agreement, and that is still in flux. Little bit of history for anyone who's not familiar is probably 3 years ago now. We were looking to update the regional agreement that the district has with the 3 towns.
Mhm.
It has not been updated since 1998. I think was the last time, and that was a court order to change our representation.
Okay.
And before that, it was 1972.
Great,
Paper written,
nice.
Mimeographed.
immigrant.
How many members is the school committee?
Right now is nine members,
And each town has 3
Nope.
representatives? Or is it based on the
Nope.
population? And
by population. Currently, what we have is there's 3 members from Pepperell, 2 members from Townsend, 1 from Ashby, and 3 at-large members that get voted in by all 3 towns.
Okay.
So in trying to update it for all kinds of things, including, the Ed Act of 94,
Mhm.
and a lot of law changes. Some of the things we were trying to do were put in a 5-year average for the enrollment in the district,
Yeah, rolling average.
rolling average versus just the year, the October 1 numbers, because we were finding that towns from one year to the next could have a huge swing
Mhm.
just in the number of enrollments. We did not have a mechanism for capital projects to be assessed per programs. Right now, capital projects per the enrollment in the school of the students
Mhm.
from K to 12. Since that agreement went into place, we have pre-K as part of the district. We have a lot of district-wide special education programs,
Mhm.
which will move from building to building. And so we didn't have a mechanism to use those students to assess capital projects on any particular building. So we were trying to address that in the new. We ran into some issues with just language from the DESE, because they have to approve it before we can even think to bring it to the towns,
Yeah,
to go back to them to get approved. And we were going back and forth probably for almost 2 years on very little stuff,
okay.
and had not. We were finally getting close, and then we had all of the business with the budget crisis, closing a building.
Mhm.
One of the provisions that we had in there was that every town had an operating school building in their town.
Okay.
That was a request by a number of people, especially Ashby. But at the time, we had the Board of Selectmen in a large meeting looking at the regional agreement. We had community members, and everyone had agreed that that should be in there,
Mhm.
with proposing to close Ashby Elementary, which is their only operating school building.
Right.
We obviously put the original agreement on hold so
Yeah.
we can know what was going on. So it's still on hold right now. A final decision is going to be made in 2 weeks now at the next school committee meeting on whether Ashby Elementary will be reopening or if it will be closed permanently.
Okay.
At that point, we can probably resume talks with the DESE to move forward on the regional agreement.
And that would essentially amend the current regional agreement or shred it to pieces and then restart.
It's more of a shredding. If you try and read through it, it's
Layered.
quite hard to follow.
Yeah.
There was a lot of towns coming in and out of the district in the first 7 or 8 years that the district was formed. At one point, we had Dunstable. We had, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Townsend was out at one point, Pepperell was out at one point, Ashby went out at one point.
Oh, you can get out of the regional agreement?
You can.
It's very expensive now to get out of the regional
When it was
agreement.
first being,
When it was
first
first
being
formed and
formed.
nobody really had any financials involved in the district yet, it was a lot easier. But it did take a vote of all the towns to say, yes, you can leave. And it still does.
Yeah. It almost becomes
Well,
a
you're only
super
down
town
to-
meeting.
But it's been 3 for a very long time.
Yes, it has, since like it was formed in the early 1950s. By the 1960 was set with Townsend, Ashby, and Pepperell. So it's been an extremely long time that it's just been these 3. But the first, few years were a little volatile.
For the agreement, are you guys working with almost a consultancy to help rebuild it? Or are you guys doing it all ad hoc, sort of independent with each individual town council?
The DESE has templates. They have checklists.
Yeah.
We've been working with our attorney for the district.
Okay.
And with 2 members down at the DESE, going back and forth on what's proposed.
Okay.
It's fairly, except for the little differences, like the rolling average might be different, how we assess, there's a couple different options, so we'll have to choose the option that the law allows us to, but
Right.
there's an awful lot that's dictated by law
Yeah.
that we really can't change.
Yeah. And rolling average, I think, is what a lot of communities do, so that you're not sort of handcuffed by a large year,
Mhm.
post-COVID year or whatever. But I know the education world changed dramatically in March of 2020. So
Yes.
I'm happy to help in any way or offer any ideas. We had the town that I'm a select board member in, we had a meeting about getting out of the regional agreement
Okay.
with Groton as a Dunstable. There was this concept, very much a concept about pulling out and recognize that the cost was not even remotely possible. And I think what was forgotten about was one town pulls out, you basically reduce the other town's ability to afford it, while not being able to afford your own concept. So there's really no way out. It's almost fine tuning and sharpening your pencils to say, how can we work together forward rather than trying to demolish something. 'Cause
The reason why a lot of towns went into regionals is to share the cost of central office.
Mhm.
And a lot of those costs, pulling out and creating your own central office, can be very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And the other part is the debt. We have debt on the new high school.
Mhm.
So any town that wants to pull out from the district would have to basically front their portion of the entire debt
Yeah, buy
that
out
they
the
have
debt.
agreed to.
Yeah, which is almost
Because-
impossible nowadays.
Right, because they agreed to it,
Yeah,
when we were
It was
doing
voted.
So yes, you can get out of it. It's very expensive and not necessarily affordable without that debt, just to creating your own central office these days.
And in some cases, people say, oh, let's do this. And then 2 years later, you realize, oh, we do need the extra school capacity because enrollment shot up. Or, an affordable housing project comes in and adds 200, 2-bedroom units. And you're like, well, now what do we do? But no, thank you for sharing that update. And again, happy to help if I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'm here too, so. Thank you so much, Randy.
No problem. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
No,
Okay.
Cool.
thank
Thank you. It
you
was nice to meet
for
you.
those updates.
Okay.
We jumped
Have a
to
good night.
5-5.
Yep. Accept lease agreement for anything new on those lease agreements.
So there has been a bit of back and forth with the folks at the, I'm not going to give them the right name, the Firefighters Ambulance Association.
Fire EMS Relief Association.
Those guys. With the terms of the lease, I shared some feedback from your liaison with them. I'm waiting to hear back from that feedback in terms of how it looks. I'm hoping we have something to execute at the 2-3 meeting. In general, someone who read it themselves found that some of the language was, a little forward in sense of like, it almost reminded me of a corporate lease. But I don't think that's the intent here. But I do agree about sort of clarification about nonprofit status and, making sure that remains in perpetuity and protecting the town because it's a town-owned parcel, and going forward from there. So, from the lease side, the lease agreement side of things, that's the only real update I have to share with you. So nothing to vote on.
Has that gone back to town council?
I have not received the feedback
From them?
From the Townsend EMS Association to share with town council yet. I gave them our feedback, yourself and mine.
Right.
I have not heard back from that feedback. I spoke with their side and I said, I'd really like to get this resolved for the 2-3 meeting. And I haven't heard anything additional, so.
Okay.
So no action necessary at this time.
Okay. Do they understand that, I know that there were, my notes at least were handwritten on there, the things that I thought needed to change. Are they waiting for something from town council to put because they gave you their comments handwritten. I gave you comments handwritten and you had your own comments. I'm wondering if, do they understand that they need to comment on our handwritten comments? I guess is the question. Or are they waiting for something from council to make the changes? That, I know I commented on their comments, either, in agreement or changing. I'm wondering if we need a new version from council at this point.
So I emailed Mr. Stevens on Saturday. I said, I received feedback on the draft lease for the Old Harbor Station. I've attached that feedback. I said, please share your feedback on the feedback in any areas to discuss. I'm hopeful this is ready for the 2-3 meeting. So it's in their hands, but I can follow up tomorrow or right now.
Follow up, and I think what I would like for the 2-3 meeting is a final agreement upon this.
Okay.
And I know this is only Tuesday and it was a holiday weekend. So, and I think I got my stuff to you on Friday maybe.
Yep, and I copied you on the Saturday night email.
So it's a little quick, but if we don't get it to council by the end of this week.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we won't have anything back to review again to get to us by Friday of the next week for signature.
Yeah, because I know a lot of legal offices are MMA. So let me see if I can help our admin for 1 second. But,
That's 2-3.
Yeah, I would like to have it completed. Are we taking a quick break till?
We could until he comes back.
Yeah.
We lost sound. We have no sound coming from you guys. Oh, you are muted, sorry.
We're back.
Sorry about that. I had to answer a question from one of our staff members. So I think I was discussing catching up with town council, hopefully by end of day tomorrow. If I don't have any update from our friends at the EMS Association, I'll nudge them once more, and I'll also share, maybe I'll forward this email to town council, say this is how I've reached out. We're trying to get this, solidified for the 2-3 meeting.
Okay.
Please share, please look at this feedback we've received and we've offered, and how can we move forward?
Sounds good.
Okay. Next is, according to this, 5.7, West Townsend Reading Room.
Yeah, this is a fun topic, and it's really looking, maybe it's not quite baked out for a vote right now, because I'll probably screw this up, but it's authorizing me, the interim town administrator, to contact our Seventh-day Adventist users of the space to ask them to remove any items that are theirs by March 15th of 2026.
I thought that was last meeting.
I didn't have a date for you at the last meeting. So I think it's give me the green light to do that, perhaps signing a letter out of session, or I can work with you to sign, from interim town administrator and Chair Schifrin, so that they know we need them to remove their stuff. Anything that's there as of March 16th, the next business day, would be recycled and disposed of by our facilities group. The thought here is getting this ready to put it out to sell for the town. These are the steps necessary to get it prepared so that it's empty. The town has their historical belongings, if there are any. It's a Western Historic District deeded parcel, and we put it out to auction, or however we want to do it. Put it out as an RFP to sell.
And that's so the select board just decides to sell it?
I think I'll end up going to an HDC meeting to say.
Well, yeah, but I mean, usually, since, to my knowledge anyway, and that's for a few decades.
Yeah, better than mine.
So, I mean, and I've never sat in this seat, so I don't know. The only thing that I know about town properties is that it's gone through town properties committee with a recommendation of what to do with that property.
Okay.
So maybe that's not the process, and maybe the select board can just do it.
That's a good question. I had not thought of them. I think you mentioned that to me. I just didn't follow up on it. So I will, I'll see if that committee meets, if they are a committee that's active.
Jody,
okay.
I think it's a full board.
Okay. So I may ask them about that parcel. And
Some
then
additional ones.
the Hart Library, I think, is one that you guys should consider for selling.
I found
that's
so
been
much
considered
on
many
that.
times.
Yeah, and then 182 Warren Road should be.
Well, I think the Hart Library last time it was an RFP for a lease, not for sale.
That was the
Well,
last time,
not
but
town
prior to
properties.
that, I found I gave them to you. Did I keep them or did I give them to you?
Can't remember. I
I
have to look at
can't
my
either,
stack
but
of papers. So.
In my review of minutes over the past week or so, there are many places where that was discussed many times to sell the Hart
But
Library.
it never
Yes.
actually was.
And it never actually was.
But-
We
and
put it out
remember-
not for sale, but for someone to take possession of it and renovate it. Still owned by the town, but
It's a lot of work to go into a lease that you have to renovate that much without having the ownership of it, I think.
Absolutely. And the other thing about that is that I haven't looked into, I mean, it's been discussed in town properties many times.
it wasn't town properties, it was a select board.
Oh, well,
That was
it's been
discussed.
in town properties as well. It does not have its own septic.
No, there's a thing about, there's a tight tank, I think, or they would have to put in a tight tank.
Oh, they have
There's
to
a
put one in.
discussion of that as well. I must have left them with you. I think I left them with you.
On
So-
the heart,
Yeah. So who knows, but in any event,
and have you been in
because they
there
aren't here.
The library, I have
Yeah.
not yet.
to
Oh,
see
yeah.
how much stuff is in there
I haven't,
that we're responsible for as a town?
no, but that sounds daunting. So
It is.
I'll also note that we have a pickup truck parking outside there regularly, and I'm gonna ask our parking clerk to
I was
determine what's
just
going
gonna
on.
ask about that the other day.
Because it has a town seal on it from the town
From
of Stowe.
Stowe.
And they have been routinely parking there in the evening, and I am curious to know why.
For over a year, I'd say.
Do they live there?
It's a fine question.
More than likely in one of those houses anyway, along
So-
there.
I'm just gonna make our parking clerk aware of it, and perhaps the police chief, just to say, however the mechanisms are.
Yeah,
But the motion in front of us for
It's
the,
just for the
there's a
town meeting.
motion?
so this is me, I just typed this up.
I can come up with it if you want.
So I'll summarize it. Motion to authorize the interim town administrator to request the Seventh-day Adventist Church
Yes.
group to remove items on or before March 15th, 2026. Any items remaining would be considered surplus or trash. You could say so moved if that makes your life
That would
easier.
be great.
And then.
Valerie Goodrich, so moved.
Veronica Cal second.
Any further discussion?
And I will work on the other buildings and parcels list in the, what was
Well,
it?
is the second part, is this gonna be motioned, or are we waiting on that? To complete the sale?
Yeah, we just did the motion to have me reach out to the church group. and We'll go from there.
Okay.
So, thank you for letting me do that, and I will reach out to those folks to keep it moving and get that place emptied and ready to sell. We can pause while the chair grabs a drink of water. What's the group called? It's called the Townsend Properties Group?
Yeah.
Townsend Property.
Yep.
Committee.
Did you vote?
Nope. We're waiting for you, don't worry.
Scared you off.
But we're done with the discussion?
Yep.
Okay, roll call vote,
Veronica Cal, aye.
Valerie Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schiffern, aye. So,
I will prepare a letter tomorrow for you guys. There is no 5.8, that was my
Right.
error.
5.9, review discuss ARPA funds available for general government salaries.
I got you.
So, I mean, I would first of all say, based on our previous discussion about the town administrative representative for the annual audit, that I would like to see that the town treasurer gets a one-time payment for that work this year.
And then it come from the ARPA.
I would.
When Lori comes back, we should do a motion for that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just wait for the little discussion until she comes back.
Mhm. For those watching at home, we're just taking a pause for a coughing moment.
Do you need?
Oh, no, So what'd you do with ARPA?
I was just saying that I would like to, if the chair so agrees, to make a motion to do a one-time payment from ARPA for the town treasurer based on the work on the audit committee.
So second,
Oh, I didn't make the motion yet. I was just explaining to you, so you're up to speed. Would you like me to make the motion?
Well, and I think, the amount, like, to me, I think when I look at other stipends the town has in place, I think about $1,500 is the appropriate amount for this level of detail, to have them be the sole owner of this until your full TA comes on board. And then this would also have a follow-up process that they're gonna work on a presentation and such. So it's not just, $1,500 for monitoring a vendor. There's a bit more to it.
Well, they also have to be part of the audit meetings
Yeah,
also.
participate in audit meetings, share a recap that I can share with you guys through a
Right.
board report. So I just want to make sure we're all in agreement that there's some expectations behind. It's not just working for,
So can we write that up? I mean, we can make the motion, but I think that
outline should be
there should be the
scope.
the scope of the work.
scope of the stipend and scope of work for,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay.
I, Valerie Goodrich, will make a motion to use one second. ARPA funds available for general government salaries to make a one-time payment to the town treasurer for Melissa Dene for her work as the town administrator representative for the annual audit. The scope of work to be determined by the town administrator.
Veronica Kell, second.
Any further discussion?
Did I say the amount in that motion?
I did not hear the amount.
For the amount of $1,500
Okay,
I will second.
amendment.
and you can send us all the scope before that's finalized?
To be signed out of session?
Signed out of session, and we'll look to probably break the payment into a one-time, like split it in half, so you get $750, a pay period from now, and then the remaining $750 at the completion of the project. So.
I think that can be written in there too.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Kell, aye.
Valerie Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schiffern,
Excellent.
And the rest of ARPA funds, we're discussing that.
I want to talk about.
I had asked the accountant for an update on that number. They had not returned my email yet. Last I knew, the number was in the ballpark of about 93,000-ish.
It was, because I have been doing everything with the minutes lately, $93,955 is the amount that Roselli told us last year was the
Okay.
amount.
Might
in
be some
that.
added interest at this point.
Yeah. Well, the interest, that goes into the general fund. It's not ARPA money,
No.
so we don't have to account. It's not the funds that we can use. I mean, eventually we'll be able to when it's rolled into free cash and all that good stuff. But if you watch the audit tape, which I think is June, can't remember the exact date,
It was in the audit report too,
2024, I think.
it was in the audit report.
Yeah,
too.
so it's in the audit report as well for the federal auditing
Yeah.
of federal funds, not the regular report, but the supplemental. In any event, it's $93,955. And so that's the amount,
What was that again? 93,000?
$955.
Excellent. Okay, I'm just trying to do live math as we're sitting here, so.
Yeah. So if we take that 93955 and we subtract 1,500, we have 92455. And then we have the
Special town meeting warrant article.
special town meeting warrant article. Do you want to go over that? Or?
Yeah, so it's tough to follow and it's left my head scratching a few times, but this is for our police officers that are owed retro pay for fiscal year 2025.
Right.
Yeah, 26, right?
No.
No.
25. Oh, 25, yes.
It's 26. It's 26.
Yeah, it's 26.
Oh,
The
it's
retro
But it was
26.
based on the 25 rates, so that's why,
Correct,
it's
yeah.
retro, so. And that's why it's
2 years,
confusing.
Kieran, I can't do
It's,
2 years.
it's confusing to me too, so we sat with the chief today and it was wonderful.
And this
to
is
sit.
for clarification because their contract was up at the end of FY '25.
That is correct.
So they're still
Yes.
at FY '25
That's where the
rates.
FY 25 comes
So
in.
they currently are at FY '25 rates.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So there is a retro payment due to them. This is part of something that will be at the special town meeting where it'll be one of the voting articles that we have to say what the funding source is. So it could be stabilization, it could be ARPA.
It
It's
could be
ARPA.
free
It
cash.
could be free cash.
And we voted to be ARPA
As a
last
board,
meeting.
as a board, we authorized it to be ARPA. It's the intention of ARPA funds is actually using it for wages and salaries, so it's aligned with that. Because it's a retro payment, it's a one-time payment. So it will help make up the difference for fiscal year 26 based on the wage rates of 25,
Correct.
which is about $53,500 to get the officers up on their regular pay. It encompasses a few different buckets: regular pay, OT, holiday. There might be a couple other training. So it all factors in.
Do I have that folder?
Yeah, based on the officers that are working at the time that the payment is made. So that,
Because they have to be here
you have to be,
working in order to get it.
correct, you have to be enrolled in working in the town. So that will help us cover that increase and bring us in essentially to a 1-year agreement, pending still a sub-approval of the town meeting to do that. So that will reduce your ARPA funds from there. Was there any other segment to that approval that you thought was relevant? I learned a
Not
little
to
bit more
ARPA,
today, but not to ARPA.
So
that leaves us with about,
if that passes, it leaves us with $38,955. If I subtracted correctly.
Minus 53,500.
and then get to 1,500 for the treasurer.
Yeah, I got that. So what'd you have, 38?
That's
38,955.
That's what I got.
Okay.
So for those listening at home, we're left with about just a smidge under $39,000, 38,955 for exact dollar value for wages and salaries to be used before December 31st of 2026.
That is correct. And so I would propose, looking at all of those who were all the non-union employees who did not receive the COLA and the step in 2025.
Yep.
To make them whole.
I don't think that's even gonna, I think that from what my rough math is, that's gonna be like 20.
I haven't gotten to the point of doing math. I may ask the
Okay.
accountant or payroll folks to help me
To
determine
look
that.
at that, yeah.
Yeah.
For all of 25, because it would be, again, a retro payment similar to the police, and then a step up for the remainder of 25 in their regular pay.
Yeah.
So I would want to know what that dollar amount is.
This is probably a really important thing to decide sooner, because if we're bumping them back up versus a one-time payment affects the budget. If we're bumping them back up,
It will make them whole for this year, but the question becomes, and this is where, what happens in the FY27 budget? Do they start back at what it was, or are we increasing here?
Yeah.
And can that be afforded? So that's something we have to think about.
Yeah. As someone who,
Same question for police, right?
Yes, but the second question is an override question.
For their
And so it would, roll in there if that override passed. If not, we are in default with the police and
back to the table.
it's back to the table with the unions.
the police.
With the police.
That's just
union.
for the police.
Yeah. Which who knows what that is, because we're at an impasse.
Yeah.
If we don't have the money to.
And for your staff that are non-union collective bargaining folks, as I was doing the budget, this is the dreamer's budget. That's kind of the way I'm framing it. And I've said that to every department head, like, add your 4%, I want it to truly reflect what every department needs. And that's been a really valuable exercise. So I think it's 4% of whatever was approved with fiscal year 26, which was the reduction.
Yes.
So we'd be making it up with a one-time payment.
But it doesn't, we're not arguing to adjust that.
Right. I would, yeah, correct. I wouldn't, it's too complicated for what it's worth.
That's fine. That's better than nothing, based on the fact that this is now there.
Yeah, and as someone who was one of those folks, we all worked very hard. I can totally empathize for it, but I just think I'd want to be straight with those folks. Like, hey, we're going to give you a little chunk. It's not the full recognition, but we're doing the best we can. So.
Right.
So then,
It's something.
do we want to vote on that tonight?
I would like to know the numbers.
I don't have those. I can do that.
And another place, and I know that earlier we were discussing overtime for plowing. I mean, that could come out of here. It's salary.
It wouldn't be a bad practice to just clear that deck.
Yes, I mean, we want to use every single dollar.
Right. We don't want to give nothing back.
And so I still have my thing with the union, because it's in the supervisors union at 3,000. I looked at the contract.
Oh,
And
3,000,
at
not 5.
3,000, not 5. And why that number wasn't negotiated higher, I don't know, because the ask comes in every year. And so I just think it would be a way to handle that, and because it's salary, we could do it, and I'm not opposed to that. I just want to make sure that there's a union discussion when we do this.
But I do think I can do all the non-union things without a problem, just based on my rough math. And I can forward you what I
Yeah,
had that.
because you have about 30, like I'm like just a smidge under 39,000. So then if you're, say it's 20-ish.
Well, I know the library's biggest portion, that was about 13.
And then there's the admin assistant,
Admin.
there's HR,
Administrator.
there are, the housing and grant administrator.
Parks and Cemeteries was covered by their trust.
Right,
I think that's it.
so,
Yeah, you may have a few
Maybe-
admins here and there.
might be a few stipends.
Yeah. But Melissa would be able to,
She can run that.
Yeah, and let us know where,
and the library director has the numbers for that.
yeah.
Good.
So I think it's a good use of the funds. And then anything left, we could extend HR to the point that we can. And then when we're out of funds, we're out of funds. So it would mean then that we could, if we haven't had a discussion about how we're gonna handle HR beyond, but it could help to alleviate some of the dollars, put in the full dollars in the budget if we're gonna contract HR out or whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah, looking at the budget, it was all ARPA for that role.
Yeah.
And so like there is no number on the
It
budget.
wasn't in the budget.
No.
Yeah, it's non-existent. So I've sent the budget off to FinCom with a lot of notes and caveats to it. So, you know, I'll take your guys' lead in terms of how you want me to bump that around and go from there.
I think we should put in for a contract.
Okay.
And I think that any dollars that are left, we should extend what we have for as long as we can.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
I mean-
not opposed to that.
I guess this is a question of what the bigger budget looks like, right? And how we want HR to fit into that structure. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say what exactly it's gonna be at this point, right?
Or about anything.
I don't think we know.
Yeah.
But I think that if we're thinking of contracting HR,
Let's
because
work
we
with the
know there's
override.
an end point, I would want to confirm, I'm pretty sure in that December 2024 meeting, that we just funded with ARPA through this fiscal year. I don't think we went beyond.
No.
Yeah.
So I would, anything left, whatever dollars we have left, go as far as we can. So we have a date and a notice date and all of that. And then it will alleviate, catching it, Lauren,
Yeah.
some of the costs
The room.
for the, if we are contracted.
The one pause I'll give you there, again, I value all the roles, is if you were to strike gold in a TA search and you had someone that said they could start June 1st onboarding and you could pay them,
That would work as well.
you could use ARPA funds to bridge that gap, even if that person was a couple days a week as they integrate, they break off from where they are, and integrate into Townsend.
That's exactly, I was
That's a
any,
good use too.
I think we may need that discretionary spending in that line
As
item.
long as it's salary. it's
Well, it
fine.
would be, you know,
Otherwise.
John
it's-
Smith, you know, onboarding, you know, because you still have me under contract then, and I'm basically, here's the plate of food, you know, here's what's going on, and
There should be an overlap.
there should be an overlap for,
That can be used for that.
yeah. And I would leave it up to you guys to decide, you know, leveling that against human resources, you know, giving people the proper raise backs or whatever, however we want to phrase that out, to making sure you have a role, someone in that seat that's being compensated appropriately and can carry the torch from day one, come July one as the fiscal year rolls.
So this is a tangent from that. We need to decide when we're going to post for our search committee and
Mhm.
what the goals are for that search.
That's a whole agenda item.
Yeah, do we have a date for that agenda?
I can put that on the next one. I think Sabrina and I talked about that. So.
No, we already
So-
talked about the makeup of the committee. We just haven't posted for it.
Good, fine.
I may say you need more than 3 people to make that call.
I would like that too.
And
Hindsight.
I might say I disagree.
That's fine.
And I
Because we already voted.
Because you did already vote, and I watched it, and I thought to myself, having now been here almost a month in this role and proud to be doing it, it's you really need to check with some other stakeholders.
My thoughts on this is that at the time we voted, it's like, I wish we had taken a pause actually just to think about it, because it was so close after we got the resignation, and we didn't know if we were gonna have an interim that was just gonna be there real quick. But now that we have something, we have, I think, just a little bit of breathing room to make sure we do everything the right way. So hopefully we can get somebody who stays. That's just
I
my
don't
2
think
cents
Well,
in the
that's
process.
what I saw
We
is
don't.
that the number of people on the committee has no correlation whatsoever to whether someone stays or not.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. True. Point
So-
counterpoint.
And it's the selectmen that make the final decision, so it isn't always what the board recommends,
That is true too.
okay? So been there, done that.
Fair. It's something we can revisit, but I just had that in the back of my head. So,
Yeah.
but I think long story short, having a little extra ARPA buffer in there is a good
I'm
idea.
not opposed to that if that's, possible.
Yeah, and I'll get some more ideas at MMA about how transition plans work and stuff like that for you guys, and hopefully cycle something back. You may get them on your own exploratory
I'm doing for
work.
the housing thing, for sure. I have my picks already in.
Your number for libraries, Karen, is 13,225.
Okay.
And then Melissa also gave up something,
She gave up a 1,000 stipend.
so.
But that, we have a signed MOU on that.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit different in my book.
I just don't want to, if we're doing everybody who gave something back to us, I would like to do everybody who gave something back to us.
I'd like to see the list then of all the stipends that were given up.
I think that was the only one.
I think.
I think it was all salaries, and then we negotiated with her on that one.
But it was all the, like the plumbing inspector and the wiring inspector and the, animal person and the tree person. And there were a lot of
Long list.
little ones,
Yeah.
yeah. So that all needs to be looked at.
Okay.
There were hours given up in some instances. I'm not looking to take back hours.
Yeah, that's where it gets kind of granular, and we get
So it gets a little, talk to Melissa and see where she is.
Mhm.
5.11,
So next time, just before we move off of ARPA, next time, you'll come back with a
With numbers,
list of
a spreadsheet,
numbers and
a motion.
where, yes. Thank you.
with a little delta at the bottom for buffer.
good?
In which case, I want to see the budget that has for next year for the HR, because that is imperative.
Mhm.
Okay.
5.11, second reading of website contact policy, content.
So I put my draft out in SharePoint, and it literally was just removing that one sentence from item 3.
For the second reading?
Yes. So it literally just removed
The thing about
that the town administrator and website administrator have to approve all content. Now, I would like to ask just this board if we actually have any intention of ever hiring a website administrator, or if it's in the budget, because this policy is based on having that position.
We
And-
have, go ahead.
Yeah. And the second fun fact of your day is there is nowhere that we have to read all of these policies aloud for first and second reading.
It's just what's always been.
But we do not have to continue to do it. Nothing in our charter, bylaws,
Policy.
anything says we have to read them out loud. We all have to obviously be informed of them. We have to post them for everybody to view them, but or they're public
So
records.
there's no first reading, second reading?
They're not. That,
It's what's
town council
always been
says some
done.
towns do this, other towns do not. It's
So it's practice, it's
It's,
just
and there's
practice.
nothing that says it would be less of a policy when you didn't do it. Probably, at least while we're trying to get our mean length under control, might behoove the board not to read them aloud twice.
So going back to the website
Yes.
content, the website person, we have 6,000 in the budget for that person. It's under,
Webmaster, right? Yep, webmaster.
it's under us, yeah. And the purpose of that was to keep the website up to date. This town has always had an issue with it. I would love to see money spent getting a decent website. I thought that the revised website was gonna be that, and in reality, it's not. We should have spent the money, in hindsight, on Civic Plus, on updating what we had.
Yeah,
It was a mistake, but what was presented to us was different from what we got.
Yeah.
And the rollover to the new site happened at a bad time in the, history of things going on in town. So it just never got checked by anybody. There wasn't a town administrator telling the department heads, hey, check your website and make sure you get the stuff in there that you want.
So
Nobody even had a backup of
I'm
the old
fine
content.
keeping that. I just want to make sure this is a budget sustainable position based on, because I don't want to pass a policy that then
isn't it
is,
not malleable or isn't
because
payable?
if we don't,
It's in the budget. It was supposed to be like 4 hours a week, like a half day
Yeah,
or 2 days a month.
so, this policy is based around that 2 days a month person. So,
I think it's good to have the policy. I think it's good to keep it. Is it being removed from the budget?
no, I added $1,000 to it because I didn't think 6,500 was enough.
Excellent.
This is the dreamer's budget, so.
Yeah, well,
might be
I
removed
think we
later.
need to have the task done.
Oh,
How
no,
do you
I'm not,
want to do the task?
I'm not denying the task needs to be done. I just want to make sure the policy matches reality. That's all. I'm just want to make sure that the policy from an administrative perspective matches what's actually going to be done in town. And if this is really something that's going to be done with town administrator and all our department heads, just to take that wording out of there so that it reflects it. And that's where I guess Kieran would have to give guidance on that.
My issue with removing that wording is I do think someone has to have oversight of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not denying the oversight perspective at all. It's just, do we want that oversight to be in a 4-hour, a week position? And that's fine if we do.
But to your point, it's true that to review everything would be
Yeah, and that's why that sentence
craziness.
I took out.
So as long as it's well-defined what content can go up, I'm okay with removing those words. But there needs to be some oversight. Someone needs to say, yeah, this is inappropriate. We're not putting that up there when the inappropriate thing appears, I think.
I think it's town administrator reviewing the work of the webmaster, and you could break it out into the departments if you wanted to. You could say each department nominates one person. You could
To
take
be
that,
the webmaster.
take that $6,500 and you break it into $500 stipends.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'm okay with that, but it still means you need a policy and you need the money in the budget.
Yeah, so,
Um,
but in that case, this would
And
just,
oversight.
it would read
Oversight for sure.
in this case, and I'm fine updating it with that in mind, just without that specific position tied into the policy. Because
Right.
then we go back after the budget session is set and we say, oh, we eliminated that, now we have to go and review the policy.
Mhm.
Do you understand? Like, I'm I'm fine with a lot of content in here. I just want it to be a policy that actually changes with the needs of the budget.
Well, it comes to the definition of who the website administrator is. The definition of website administrator can be person nominated by each department. And I'm okay with that. I think the policy needs to be in place. So where did you eliminate it? I'm looking for the elimination.
I just took out the very first sentence of permitted content. It previously, one second, I'll pull up the previous version and tell you exactly what it was. It previously read, the town administrator and website administrator will determine what content is posted on the website. And I just,
Yeah, the select board will appoint who will be responsible for ensuring that the website is operating as intended.
You guys will appoint the town administrator. Town administrator will oversee it and manage it from there.
Yeah.
so I mean, I think it's easy to fix
Keep it
this.
simple.
I think it's really easy to fix this, and I can do that if you'd like me to. And run it by you for the next time. I think
Yeah, let's move this to the next one and do that.
I'll
Yeah, and make it the
So tweak.
town
basically
administrator,
tweak.
web,
Tweak.
Yep.
and then
the website.
you guys can all think
administrator.
about whether or not you want to do a reading or not. I'll let you think on that one. I mean,
I am
I'll
good
record a
with
reading.
good with
put it
that.
on there.
reading the section where the change is. We've already read this once. I'm okay with just reading the section where the change is.
Wonderful.
And then you can think about that going forward. I'll record a reading. Yeah. Post it to the world if it makes everybody happy.
So down at the bottom where it says first reading, second reading, should we change that to first presentation, second presentation, or first
don't-
review,
that's not-
second
It's not
review?
even required.
It's not required.
It's just the date we accept it. So, I mean, like I said, I don't want to make you decide on anything right now, but I just wanted to bring that up because it related to this.
What I like about the first, and it doesn't have to be read out loud, but I like a first consideration and
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
second consideration.
I do like that.
I do like that. And if we don't have something down at the bottom, we just have adopted, that won't happen. What's nice about the first reading and
How
second
did
reading.
this come like this? Would be adopted in the date without any readings? How
What's
did we get the draft like this?
That's public relations one. That wasn't ours.
That came from CSS, I think.
Mhm.
We haven't considered that one fully yet. That
Next agenda,
went to, yeah.
2-3.
Yeah, so we haven't read that or, anyway.
So it's something to tweak for 2-3. Read could also be defined as you've read it, you discuss it, and
Yeah.
then we discuss it again at the following meeting and vote to approve or not approve or tweak
That's fine.
again.
Yeah,
And
That
keep
sounds
following that cycle, but reading a policy out loud that's more than 3 sentences for the greater good to hear is
And I think-
not the intent.
And based on council's advice, there may be times in which it's something that all of us believe that public should hear word for word verbatim, and we could make a decision, like any one of us at that point in time, I'd like to read this out loud.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
I'm
have to
good
be
with
followed
that.
as a matter of practice.
Just to be the time thief,
Yeah,
we're
I
at
agree.
6:03.
okay, so this one's coming back for a second reading on 2-3.
Correct.
Second consideration.
Looking at 6-1, this is mostly on my shoulders, so town administrator's update. I did write one for the folder.
That's that.
I will quickly touch on an internal treasurer collector policy. This has to do with the fact that the federal government's no longer minting pennies. So the policy, which the Townsend treasurer and collector is going to make available on the town website, maybe a little blurb as an announcement, as well as a printout downstairs, will be that we have to round up to the nearest 5 cents. The full amount will be paid and credited to your account when it's posted. Overages will be credited to the following quarter on your account and reflected on your next bill. In this lens, I'm also going to strongly encourage the town in a quieter time frame to look at no longer accepting cash payments. It is
Please.
incredibly
I think that would be
dangerous.
great.
Yeah.
It is
that's what I was
also, we
thinking.
are spending money on mileage, having our
Same.
staff drive to and from the bank.
Yes,
This was actually a recommendation in the audit last
Yes,
year
it-
also.
it's been the recommendation in the audit for probably 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, and it's just a,
So why aren't we just doing it?
There's a lot of pushback, especially in offices. Oh, the seniors don't, I use my phone to buy things. I mean,
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't preclude you from
seniors
using a
don't
check.
do that.
you can always use a
Um,
check, but I had lunch over at the
They
senior
did it at
center.
the
They're
holiday
paying for
fair.
lunch with. Yeah, so it's something
They
that
might have
we
gotten
will,
some
yeah.
cash.
Well, the holiday fair is different because we're by the friends.
And oh my gosh, the recycling center.
Right, so, again, the focus here is the penny policy, you can see it here.
Yeah.
It's very functional, treasurer did a great job on it. This is an update, you guys don't actually have to vote on it either, I just want you to be aware in case residents ask. The next step of this will be, I'll work with every stakeholder who collects cash or payment and say, what do you need to get to a credit card, Venmo, whatever type payment system? Because handling cash is going out the door.
Even, I mean, if you're taking the bus for the senior center or something, you could do a card of some sort that you purchase.
Yep.
Same with the recycling center.
The little punch card.
Yeah,
So, and this segues nicely into the status of the Facebook account. I will get that acquired and enrolled before the next meeting. The pennies policy might be the first announcement on there.
yay.
And,
Very good.
and, in a very rudimentary sense, I would look to post, hey, town meeting's February 25th. Here's a link to the warrant, and that's it.
Mhm.
He didn't mean that to be the date. Yes, he did.
It is February 25th. And then we'll go from there. I will,
That's coming up.
that's sort of where my head is at. Though I worry about the downside to people putting rude things or putting the middle finger up there, because that's something that I would probably do as a little kid, to think it was funny. But I will think about how to best monitor that and honor our social media policy to get that up and rolling.
No feedback.
Yeah, I'm going to shut off feedback, but I haven't figured out how to work through the old version, the old stuff that's up there. So I'm going to ponder that with our town clerk about taking it over. So.
You can't delete.
Because I can't delete.
Can't you delete the website, the page entirely? And just set up a new one?
I could say this is the new Townsend Facebook page and blurt it out to everybody, create a QR code, so people can scan it and say, this is your source of information from the town administrator's office and Board of Selectmen. But I'll run a couple scenarios.
I'd rather do that than on the other one,
Kind of with you.
honestly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll run a couple scenarios. I'll put it in a Word doc or an email to you guys to tell me which one you want me to do.
Okay.
And go from there, probably between now and the next meeting.
Okay.
Looking at budget planning and update, I have input all the budgets that I have received into the omnibus budget. I have shared it with FinCom with notes. I also included a percentage change from the fiscal year 26 approved number to what the Dreamers budget was for the department requests. Looking at that number and a really, small,
How many are you missing?
say again?
Excuse me, how many are you missing?
Fire gave me their number. I just need the actual spreadsheet to input the numbers.
Did you put TAHT in there? Did you know?
I put those in there on my own volition, and I put little notes saying KM input or gave 4%. I put a part-time land use coordinator back in there. Again, this is a Dreamers budget here. In the event we were really looking at good funding. So I just need fire's specific department requests. That group gave me their final number, which was helpful. But I just need the final, expense line items. School I've kept based off of 4.65 increase. For the district.
And that was a best guesstimate. We'll probably hear more tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's still pending school committee approval.
Yep.
So I'm hoping they'll be closer to
Yeah,
4.
I'm hoping for our sake it comes in lower. Same with
That's
snow and ice. I added to it because I kept looking at the numbers this year and I'm like, these are too low. So I increased those numbers, just because I think we're robbing Peter to pay Paul every year, and that's not a good
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
And, I put a TA number in at 170 because that's probably where the town should be. And that might be low.
Mhm.
And for our friends listening at home, that's a low number. It's just what the market is.
Mhm.
For even 32 hours, if the role were only 32 hours a week and that was crystal clear, then that number would be appropriate. But for a 5-day-a-week role, you gotta be up. And you'll see that from any MMA reference point, any similar sized towns and cities that are as complex as Townsend. But anyways, you end up short with basic revenue projections of around $1.2 million.
That's about right.
Kind of like
What
last
did
year.
you do? Did you put the Dreamer budget
Up against the,
with the fire? I mean, not fire, police. Did you put the Dreamer police?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
so FinCom has this to deliberate on tonight. Maybe I'll catch some of their meeting on the way out. I haven't gone back to department heads. I think some people have read the tea leaves a little bit and are beginning to understand looks pretty bleak. But I will certainly clean this up, make it available to all department heads, and then look to continue to meet with them. We've met with the police, we've met with treasure collector, we've met with library. It's a bleak look.
I think,
And we have our growth number.
So the growth numbers are incorporated into that deficit. You're still short 1.2.
Yeah, I looked through the recap and it looked,
Yeah,
and that's
so
without using free cash, correct?
that is no free cash because your policy states free
No
cash
free
is not
cash.
to be
we
used.
should not be using free cash in the operating budget. So when are we discussing this? Starting next meeting with
Yeah.
FinCom?
I'm gonna look to put it into a PowerPoint presentation, call out our big departments and say what their growth was, if they're trying to add staff. So I'm gonna do it based off the department requested number. And then I may put another column in that says TA recommended. And I'll bump that against the mentor that you guys have reached out to sort of see how they're doing it in their community and go from there.
Okay, I'll just give my opinion, which
Sure.
could change 6 million times. I think we need to restructure the town offices.
Mhm.
And look at what savings that might provide at
Mhm.
some point. I am not inclined to ask for an override beyond the one for the police contract.
Good.
I just don't know that I can support one after having asked so many times in the past 5 years for an override and have it be rejected by the town because it's unneeded. And so I would be inclined to restructure and find what savings we can elsewhere. That hasn't been the way I've approached things before. But I've always thought an override should be asked for.
I don't know, if
And so I don't know that I can vote for it.
looking at what Kieran's draft is, I don't know if restructuring alone is gonna fix that problem.
Right. It's not enough.
I mean,
Certainly
I
not for
could be-
town, you can't get it out of town hall. You're not gonna make up
No,
a
you
deficit from town hall.
No, you aren't.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, unfortunately, you're seeing this not just in
It's everywhere.
municipal
Yeah.
areas, but like the insurance costs at 15% is, it's.
We all pay bills.
You're right. And, the energy costs for run buildings, stuff like
Right.
that, every town is bleeding right now. And I'd be remiss as your interim, month in and having worked here since March to say, I would advocate for an override for support of the staff. Knowing full well it may not pass, but,
I have always felt that way.
yeah.
I
know.
voted
And
for
look what they
it.
did last year.
So I think the
Just
trick
for
is,
salaries.
Twice, and in the 3 years previously.
And I would, just really important, I think we need to understand crystal clear what that budget is, if we decide to go that path without it, and that it probably may involve restructuring, because we have to get that past special town meeting if we are going to be doing any restructuring, maybe. Because our charter says administrative changes need to be. So we need to at least have that option so that we can lay out what it looks like without. Because I think one of the problems last year is that.
It's the story.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Yeah.
And, that's why it's been
How
great.
many days do we have to close town hall?
I think you'd have people here 2 days a week
Because that's all we'll be able to afford.
with a half day working from home.
Right. Seriously.
And for what it's worth,
Um,
our colleagues in Ashby are looking at the exact same issue.
Yeah, it's not just us.
And Pepperell, he gave me his strategy. He's like, if it's above this number, we're in, the nuclear territory of great reductions again.
And they passed the
Dunstable's
$1
same
million
thing.
override lot 2 years ago.
Dunstable, same thing. Groton's the same thing. Tingsborough's the same thing.
I think we need the restructuring regardless. I think we need to look at, the Dreamer budget is cool. I think we need to look at the restructured budget because it's been every year. And if we don't restructure, we are at the same place in another year.
Well,
Um,
we aren't going to be able to
Last year.
make up 1.25 actually.
No,
So
Yeah.
No, we can't. So we have to restructure.
Yeah, and I figure probably about 500K-ish is fluff on that. That's the, adding 2 people to a department. And I'm like, all right, that's the golden ticket.
Has someone asked for that?
Yes.
he did. Who was him?
It wasn't me, but it was me indirectly. But I understand why they did, and we're seeing it in other ways. But, I think I can probably shave 500K off this number.
If it's level funded,
You're still short.
right.
Completely. Because your different wage buckets and your different health insurance overall buckets, debt numbers are exceeding 2.5% increase.
And they
That
have
has
been for the
happened
past 2 or 3 years.
consistently.
Oh,
That has
they've
been
been a
consistent
lot
since
longer than that.
2020
And we've been-
anyway.
And if you don't grow that much to make up for it, it isn't gonna be there.
Particularly the last 2 or 3 years, we used one-time funds to bridge that gap.
Any agreement, any concept that grows at more than what your Prop 2.5 ability to fund is not affordable for this community. And it's a non-starter with anyone you're talking to. If you need 3%, that's 0.5% too high.
We just don't have new growth.
And I would say the same for, if you were like, Kieran, we want you to stay another month, you would say, we can only give you 2.5% more. That's the number. I'll throw myself under the bus, and then your people have to decide if they're gonna vote with their feet. And that stinks, and I don't wanna lose anybody. I think everybody does a remarkable job for the town. But it really becomes is it fair to your employees to have them afford life? And life's not gotten any cheaper in Massachusetts and in the United
I
States.
know that we had the same conversation last year.
Yep.
Several times. I know I had the same conversation in 2022 and 2023. I'm just tired of the conversation,
I'm
I
sure.
guess.
Yeah.
Because the vote is not there. The support is not there in this town for the services that we do have. At least I haven't seen it. And everybody seems to think we can make do with nothing.
Well, and hopefully in my short stint for time for you guys, I can, I love transparency and I love getting everything online and going to different groups and hopefully swing a few people onto the, hey, I would vote for that side. But I don't know if I have enough sheer charm to do that for everybody. And
I know I don't.
And that's not even so, I'm not trying to be whimsical. It's just like,
No.
I get it.
If people don't have the money in their budgets, there's nothing, even if they would like to support
Right.
an override,
They can't.
they may physically not be able to, just like our employees get.
Yeah, my tax bill at my house doubled.
Yeah.
went from 4 digits to 5. I can't believe it.
So,
And I'm like, how do I piece that together?
yeah,
You know, so it's, so that's sort of the budget update. I know that's very doom and gloom. Sorry to bring the,
well, we're gonna spend the next month talking about it, so
bring the good times down.
start it now.
Last but not least, our friends at the recreation group have asked me to put out an RFP for the National Fitness Courts, the concrete slab behind the building here on Jeff's Street or Jeff's Road. And I just wanted to loop you guys in to tell you that I was going to put that RFP out. It's about $30,000 for concrete work. We're going to go out and see who we think could get a response on that. It's less than $50,000, so we could actually work off the COMBI state approved bidder list. So long as you
This
have
is,
two.
grant money?
A lot of the resources for this project are through grant money. We have the equipment already. Recreation has done a lot of legwork in terms of adhesive for the courts and coming up with concept for how to use the courts back here. The concrete slab, we did have some funding from Representative Scarsdale. I'm not sure what the status of that is, but the concrete slab is expensive. It will involve some pretty heavy excavation out there and some site work.
So it has to be private money because we don't have town money for it.
So this would be, the RFP would go out and we would use some of Scarsdale's money to do it, depending on what the number is.
I thought that money wasn't released, that Maura Haley pulled it back and wasn't releasing it.
I was not.
Have
in
you
the loop.
talked to?
I have Margaret on my list of people to call back this
I
week.
think
So.
you need to call her
Okay.
and ask her for
I have a-
status on that.
Okay.
Because I had a question to her too, if I get to her first, I'll
Yep.
ask.
I'll also say that our recreation folks clued me into a Neshoba health grant. That
Yes.
they have a very positive read on the grant that I used Director Emmy's ideas on, and
Mhm.
we've gotten a pretty positive thumbs up
Good.
on that so far
Good.
for about 25K-ish with maybe some swing up or down on that.
That would be excellent.
So it'd be a real boost to the area for people of all ages to use that space that way. And it's really the intent of what the NFC folks thought when they sent the equipment our way, and we haven't used it yet because it's just sitting in storage.
One thing I will add just for notice is that once that's installed, that it kind of eliminates town meeting from this building because people park there. Right? It's used for parking during town meeting right now.
Which is probably fine for the technology side that North.
No, it's fine. I just, like, a special town meeting probably with less people would be okay, but
It's even hard to.
it is even hard for that.
anybody to
Correct.
get in here.
No, I agree with using NM whenever
I-
possible. I just wanted to make sure that would put it,
Well, you'd have to park in the back lot.
but I've been here when both of those lots were full.
Yeah, but you can park from Jeff Street in the lower part. You could still do that
It would just be more.
in that field.
And that's, I'm not saying we shouldn't do, I was just
Yeah,
annoyed.
We do have a hand up, and this is our Director of Recreation Group. It's up to the chair if she wants to. Emmy, you want to unmute yourself if that's okay with the chair?
Yeah.
If you can.
Hi there. Thank you, guys. Thank you for hearing me. So I did want to address that. So parking will still be available in that back lot, just not in the area for the court. So just as a heads up, when we initially did the breakdown, per Mass law, if it actually was established as a parking lot, you can still fit, it's dozens of parking spaces. However,
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Thanks,
yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, it is a possibility still.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will, we are still waiting to hear about that grant from the Neshoba health folks. But at the same time, I'd love to get the RFP out there, see if we get any responses. With you're okay tonight, there isn't really a vote per se, or maybe just for CYA we vote. But I want to send it to town council, have them review, make sure it's to their standard and we're covered. So.
You probably
I think it.
bring it back to us afterwards, right?
Yeah, I
For
don't
approval?
think. Yeah.
Am I okay to ask town
Yeah,
council
do
to
that.
review?
And then
do
bring
that.
back to us once.
Okay, so I'll do that for 2-3, so,
I mean, that equipment's all waiting, so
correct.
hopefully we can get it done.
Yeah, like I had I know they had gotten some T-Mobile money. I had applied and we didn't get it on the second go. And he found that great grant from Neshoba.
What's the liability to the town? How much does our insurance go up?
Not sure.
There's an accident there.
Good question, not sure.
The same thing applies to Kids Country though.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's both,
Well,
like, I
same
think,
thing. I had a question both times.
yeah.
I think they're grouped together as recreation,
Yeah, I think so.
playground recreation.
For all their facilities.
I mean,
So
same
probably an
thing if
umbrella
something
policy.
happens on the common,
Yeah.
you know, during one of the concerts or whatever, it's all covered, I would think, under the same, like umbrella or whatever we've got.
Well, not exactly the same, because you don't have jump gyms and you don't have people using,
But people
Equipment.
have bouncy houses and
when they
they
have
have,
events there.
yeah, when there are, during the concerts, you know?
Okay.
And I don't know if the Parks Department asks people for liability insurance, if the groups that are hosting the band concerts, do they have to have special riders for that day to cover, I
They
don't
know
Usually
know.
if they're holding an
Yeah,
event.
because
But
Absolutely.
who even monitors that? I don't think anybody. I don't know.
in terms of my last bit of updates, we touched on the budget. And again, there's a bit more context and something to read in the SharePoint folder. We talked about the pennies policy. I submitted 2 grants last week for MVP culvert replacement design program for both the Bixby Brook culvert and the Highland Street culvert. We used our friends at Weston and Sampson. They were wonderful to work with. They really led the charge, and they would be our design folks in the event that it worked out. Would be awesome for up to $150,000 for really looking at those 2 culverts that are in serious disrepair. And then a few other things. I had a tour of the fire department, their various buildings and equipment. You can see a lot of pride and professionalism is ongoing down there. The equipment's spectacular.
Yeah.
They clearly do a great job. And I was impressed by the fact that they were helping rescue a donkey, according to Facebook.
A donkey?
A donkey had slipped through the water, I guess, in one of the local farms. So it just speaks to their ability. A donkey, literally like a big donkey. So I was like, that's what the Facebook post was. So
In Townsend.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's what the post was. Maybe I was catfish, but who knows? But overall, spectacular level of professionalism, and evident throughout that they have some really nice equipment. Town-owned properties, 182 Warren Road, Hart Library, and West Townsend Reading we touched on. And snow operations, I know I said it earlier, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you again to those guys. They are working hard, and the snow and ice just seems to be.
And the sooner we can get that clarification on
It's
the
both,
overtime, that would be great.
yeah, it's both highway, cemetery, parks, and facilities. I was here on MLK Day, and we had one of our guys out here putting salt down. That says a lot about the leadership of those departments, but also that it's a holiday, they're showing up.
How's Parks and Cemetery doing for overtime?
They
Opposed to that?
are asking for coverage on their overages for snow and ice issues.
Yeah.
So they're about at $2,000 or so right now. And I think that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facilities, same thing, because he's helped backfill some of the entranceways into the buildings because they are reduced in staffing, that he's throwing down salt. He's got the shovel out. And lastly but not least, I did say that with the onboarding of Town Administrator Silva, I will be filing a disclosure form. I just want to put that in my report, as I currently serve as the Vice Chair of the Dunstable Select Board. And TA Silva is employed by the Town of Dunstable.
So, when is your term up?
May.
In May?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a different voting date, actually?
Mhm.
Are you gonna run again?
I don't think so. Got a lot on my plate.
2 plates.
Few plates, and that's all I have for my town administrator update. I look forward to the next time to share more news with you.
Okay, under 6.2 liaison reports, we have none. 6.3 announcements.
Can I say something about that? This is for our next meeting. I would like to have a report from the CR committee next time. Either a report or
I can give you an update probably. Oh, CR, sorry.
CR. Yeah, I don't know what you want.
Sorry, go ahead.
Either that or we'll put it on old business that requires more talking than just a report.
I was thinking
Okay.
Concon. I was like, oh, I'll get that for you.
No, no, no,
In my
no,
head.
no. Okay.
Announcements, 6.3. We have that?
There's one retirement from Police Sergeant Mr. George Reedy,
Yep, I'll read it.
and resignation of Police Officer Mr. Chris Lowe.
And thank you both for your service.
Indeed.
Next meeting date.
Do you have do you want me to read the updated vacancies or yes, no? No.
Yeah, do you have an update?
Well, I have the vacancies.
Please.
Right now we have Agriculture Commission, Audit Committee, Board of Water Commissioners, Capital Planning, Commission on Disability, Conservation, Energy, Housing Authority, Representative, Housing Authority vacancy, Kids Country Playground, Towns Properties Committee, West Townsend Reading Room Committee, Zoning Board of Appeals full member to 2030, Zoning Board of Appeals full member to 28, and Zoning Board of Appeals associate member.
Thank you.
Just a couple.
So we have lots of space for those who want to do something for town, and one of those is the Commission on Disabilities, right? Did you say? Yep, okay. That's somebody in mind.
Yeah, we do have some bills, or maybe Sabrina hadn't gotten to them. She had a full load of work today with some records requests. So I don't think I had anything for you guys to
Records
say.
requests.
Yeah.
That took precedence over the work. Okay.
Indeed, because of the timing of it. For 7, we have an executive session. I would suggest that you pause your meeting because the town council, Mr.
7:45.
Costa, is not available till 7:45 when he's out of class. So perhaps take a recess, stretch your legs, and have the executive session with town council Costa and not return to regular session would be my recommendation. But your guys' board, so that's what I would do.
Okay,
I
so,
agree with that.
6/4, our next meeting date is February 3rd, correct?
Yes.
At 5
At
p.m.
5 p.m.
Okay.
Do we have to file for joint at 6? Joint with
Yes.
FinCom?
We're also going to start that meeting with a joint housing authority meeting to appoint, because housing authority, we need them there to appoint Miss Irene Congdon to the board, to the authority.
I think that's the way.
I don't know why, but that's what the
It's
policy
an
is.
elected board,
Correct.
It is an elected board, so it's
so
a joint
that's
meeting.
why.
Yep, so
Yeah.
I'm going to organize Miss Natalie Call and Mr. Jack Moran to join as well for that.
Okay,
I put that right at the tippy top of the meeting, so we get them in and out.
So is that at 5?
tippy top being 5:15,
I think so.
5:10, 5:15.
Yeah, it should take a moment, just
Yeah, right.
flip of the switch, so.
So it can be the first thing after the preliminary.
Mhm.
Okay.
If it behooves the board too, I think it might be useful to have a discussion on the structure of this board in that meeting.
What do you mean by
And up
that?
to you, just how roles are being filled and if we feel like it's the best way going into budget season. It's up to
What do
guys,
you
though.
mean?
It's just to have an open discussion on in a meeting
Of what?
of the organization of this board for the rest of the year. But if it's up to you guys, I'm just bringing an agenda item forward.
Are we looking for
For what?
new liaison assignments?
No, the actual organizational structure of this board.
Do you want to change the chair and the vice chair?
I just
Is
would
that
like
what
to
you're
have a
saying?
discussion about it. Not, I'm asking for a discussion about it. I'm not saying, wouldn't be the place for me to say my opinion. I'm asking it to be on the agenda. That was what I was asking for.
For the next meeting?
It's at the discretion of the board, obviously.
Would you
not
like to
just
be
me.
chair?
No, I'm not having a discussion now. I was asking if we would like to discuss it at an open meeting.
I'm not opposed to discussing.
Okay. That was this is a question for an agenda item. It's not a discussion at this moment. It's a question for an agenda item.
It's up to you guys, you're important.
I don't know, I've never heard of that come up before.
So I did it in Dunstable for my own personal reason when I was going through a family matter and didn't have the capacity to be chair for a year.
Uh-huh.
But that's my own personal opinion on it.
We did it at the library once, when we had to switch
I
roles
did
around.
it when I was the chair of the board before, when I knew I wasn't gonna rerun. And, I wanted to, so I transitioned a month earlier than I would have normally. Usually it's after an election that you.
This
do
isn't,
that.
I'm not having a discussion about who's what and whatever. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, do you want to put this on the agenda to discuss? That's all I'm asking. If you guys say no, that's fine. It's fine.
Did you want to discuss that?
It's our decision. I say
So,
I would put it
I
on.
work for the board. If you guys are.
I will put it on because I'm curious to know what Valerie's thinking.
Yeah.
So
That's fine.
Sure,
That's
put
fine.
it on.
All right.
we aren't discussing it now because it's not on the agenda.
That is what I was trying not to do. When people start asking questions, I'm like, I'm trying not to discuss it. I just want it on the agenda. That's it. Okay.
Outside my pay grade.
But because there are some things I want to discuss, because we have contracts coming up that are going to be out. And so I don't know if that's part of your discussion, but
Absolutely, we can discuss that at the same time.
That I would, and it
We
would
could discuss
fit
the
under
board,
that.
organization, and liaison assignments.
It would fit under
I
that.
seriously
I have other things.
have no idea where this is coming from. No
That's
one
why,
has said anything to me.
that's why I don't
Nor
want,
me.
we shouldn't discuss now. Don't
So
discuss, it's
that's
just
why
an
I wanna
agenda
put it
item.
on the agenda. We'll see what Valerie's thinking, because it's our only opportunity. I'm looking for, I had other things.
I will throw it on the agenda.
Um,
Otherwise, we don't have payroll to sign. We have a meeting date for 5.
We don't
On the
have
3rd.
anything to sign? this
You
week?
signed this one agreement,
Mhm.
and tomorrow will be,
What is the,
that's the proclamation. The Weston Sampson thing, we're waiting. I guess you already signed that, so that's good to go.
I'm waiting for we haven't received the agreements with the police union.
We have not,
Those need to be signed.
correct, yeah.
I don't want that to get lost. I'm looking here. I kept writing things down.
I think that's it. You could probably
You'd
motion to
to
recess.
recess and then,
Oh, ethics tests. I know mine is due by the end of the month, and you have to do it on Chrome. Sorry. And I
Done.
use Safari.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't find my other thing.
That's all right.
Okay.
So I think you could also depart and do this next session via Zoom. Because I don't think returning to regular session is required. So you could adjourn from there. Up to you
adjourn
guys.
to recess to enter executive session
Yeah, and
after
not return
recess
to
at
public.
7:45.
All right, so in that case, where are we?
You're at section 7. Motion to recess, not returning to, motion to executive session, not returning to regular session. Oh, what's the, okay, Chat GPT, that motion. Motion to recess.
Chair has to do this one.
Enter executive.
Move to go to executive session after with a recess until 7:45. After a recess.
Yeah, I move that the board vote to recess the open session and enter an executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter C, 30A, 21A for the purposes of, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, namely RFS Court versus Town of Townsend, Middlesex Superior Court docket number 2581 CV0238, where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the chair of the board, and the chair so declares. You could say, I move it, because that's a lot of stuff, or I can rewrite it out for you. And you're good to go.
Just say so moved.
I lordship in the chair so declares and move.
Sorry, I didn't. I thought we were going to be going until 7:45, so I didn't realize we'd be pausing. Though I was hopeful. But we thank our friends at TCAM, and you would want a roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Roll call vote.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Valerie Goodrich, aye.
Laura Shepherd, aye. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.